It's Wednesday night, and that means it's time for the Lamar Thomas Show, featuring the greatest receiver in the history of college football. Just ask them, Lamar Thomas.
I was born in Ocala, Florida. I moved to Gainesville to go to high school. Been recruited probably since the 9th grade, illegally, I might add, by the University of Florida. I still can remember Coach Solinger, Don Solinger, coming out to our practice one day. Here it is, this guy comes out in the University of Miami jacket, and I said, I can't believe that's Miami out here. And, you know, I wanted to go up and say, hey, I'm Lamar Thomas. And actually, I did walk up to him and I said, hey, Coach, I'm Lamar Thomas. And he said, I know. And that was the start of my relationship with the University of Miami.
Another good block, and Toretto lays it out. Touchdown, Miami.
You come down here, you'll be on TV every weekend, dominating. I thought about it. I said, man, where do I sign? My mom, on Saturday mornings, I would wake up and she'd be holding my hand. I thought she was the weirdest lady in the world. But she was holding my hands and she would be rubbing them and saying, one day these hands are gonna make you a lot of money. She was smart.
So now, here he is, the great one, along with co-host Gary Ferman of CaneSport.com, Lamar Thomas.
And there he is.
There we go.
The great one.
Man, what a day today, man. What a day today. But I'm here. I am here at Bo Campus.
He's here. LT, the Lamar Thomas Show.
Woo.
Wednesday night. I'm Gary Ferman. He's LT. And I think we're going to start tonight by telling the story of your great day. I mean, that's a classic, Lamar.
Man, so I was going to drive to Gainesville and probably do the show from Ironwood Golf Course where my brother is the pro. And I got halfway down the road and I said, I'm not going to be able to make it. There's too much traffic out there. And Warren Sapp he called me at about 11 o'clock. And he said, hey, man. I said, where you going? He said, I'm going to my mama's house. It's traffic. I said, well, I'm going to get on the road in about 2 hours. He said, dog, you better get on the road now. It took me 2 hours to get on the road, my family and everything. We got past West Palm. And I looked at the GPS and said, there's no way I'm going to make this show. And I had to tell my wife, I said, look, we got to go back home. So all my happy family in Gainesville, mom, dad, my brothers, Keisha, all the kids, Elle and Jonah, we'll be there. Eric, we will be there in the morning. We will be there, all right?
So what time are you going to leave in the morning?
I'm thinking like 4, 5, maybe 4.
4 a.m., huh?
Yeah, 4 a.m., man. I'm not a sleeper. So.
And I want to know what your wife's reaction was to all of this.
She said actually, we can do the show in Ocala. What? They do a show at somebody's hotel. What if they don't allow me in? You know, but you just never know. I got to do my show, and that's not a good look if you're late or you don't show up for your own show. So I said, you know what? Let's go back home, and we'll get them tomorrow. I know my mom's cooking some good food, so I can't wait. I might not even eat no wings tonight because I don't want to be on punishment when I get home to Gainesville anyway. And it's that weekend up there, the Seminoles versus the Gators. So it's a big weekend in Gainesville. And View host Bobcat are playing Nice for an opportunity to maybe even play Lake Gibson, which I have a son on Lake Gibson's team. So it'll be great. View host high school is my high school. So it's gonna be a great weekend. That's what I'm hoping.
Sounds awesome, man. So what? Who's cooking the Thanksgiving dinner?
Mom.
Mom?
My mom's cooking Thanksgiving dinner. I mean, you know, everybody else will chip in except me. Um, dad's a chef. They do it big. My brother can cook. Everybody can cook except me. I'm not a cooker. I don't. I'll order.
You order. How many days would you say mom works for this dinner you're gonna have tomorrow night?
Um, you know, she she likes she likes to put her foot in it now. So she's been. I think she's been about. I think she already started. So
Yeah.
she's and I better show up, or I really will be on punishment. So Ma, I will be there. And Jessica, I know you're across the seas. Happy Thanksgiving. I think she's in Turkey. There's no telling where she is, but this is a great time of the year, man. We're in football season. It's kind of chilly outside, and the University of Miami won a football game.
Yes, sir. Another one. Another
There you
one.
go.
So what's that?
Great
That's, I
segue.
guess, 4 out of 5 now, Lamar.
Yeah. How about that?
They're 6-5 on the season now. They got on the winning side of the ledger, and that was a long way away when they were 2-4.
Man, we couldn't see it. But the crazy thing is, we saw it before the season because everybody was counting a lot of those wins.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yep.
but because of the slow start and because of the offensive ills and the defensive ills, we couldn't see it. Nobody could see it. And to this day, you got to give old Rhett Lashley some credit for getting those kids to play it. Hell, you gotta give Manny credit. You gotta give that staff credit, and you gotta most importantly give those kids credit because they could have quit, but they
Yeah.
haven't, and that's a beautiful thing.
Lamar, every time I say on CaneSport.com or anywhere else, really, that they deserve a lot of credit for how hard the kids have played.
Mm-hmm.
I get lit up, man. I get lit up for almost anything I say these days, to be honest with you.
Yes, you do.
Lamar, I put out a story the other day saying that there are some people at the university that want Manny to come back. There's some trustees and others that want Manny to come back. And when I threw that out in a story the other day, oh my God, man! I got lit up.
You stuck your neck out in the road, man.
Well, but it's the truth.
Hey.
It's the truth. Manny has been told he's coming back, and he's operating in the building like he's coming back, and they're recruiting. They had a couple of top recruits out there yesterday. It's business as usual for Manny Diaz, and you've got this whole thing going on the outside. The AD search, what that's going to mean, what the new AD is going to want to do. Is he going to want to keep Manny? Is he going to want to evaluate for a year? Is he going to want to replace Manny, go after Mario, go after Lane? Everybody's not going to be happy in this thing, Lamar. And,
Hey, and all you doing is reporting, man. What you hear, what you see, and they are killing you, dog. Better you than me, dog. Better you than me.
And I'm not even reporting everything, as you know. We just can't. So not at this point. So it's crazy, and it's a very emotional time for the Miami fan base right now. But getting back to what I was saying, so if I say that it's a credit to Manny and the staff, how hard those players are playing. People go crazy. That's supposed to be assumed. Players playing hard is supposed to be assumed. Yeah. Lamar, you've been a coach in multiple places. Is players playing hard assumed?
Well, by the fans, but I can tell you this: as when you're sitting in that staff meeting and you're commenting on each kid, and that head coach is looking at you, or that coordinator is looking at you and goes, "What the hell is going on in your room? What's the deal?" Some of those kids, man, they dial it in at some point. They, whether it's a long season, you take a lot of freshmen too. I tell you, this is one reason why I don't like playing a lot of young guys. And this is why I give them credit, because young guys, it's a long season for them. Just think about it. Every level you go up to, there are more games. For me personally, from high school to college, when I finally started playing, I'm like, Jesus, when is the season going to end? Because they have ups and downs because they're not used to it. Then you go to the NFL, you know how long that season is. That season is long. I got halfway through the football season. I'm like, damn, when is this going to end? But for those kids to all dial in, and we've talked about this many times about we're not thinking there's leadership in that building or leadership from the kids. I think from what I see, there's leadership because they could have quit. And you can say, oh, well, that's not their job to quit or they're in college. Well, this is a different kid, man. This is the transfer portal kid that if he's not getting his way, he's out. And it's just that's today's kid. So I'm gonna give them their credit because they deserve it for turning this thing around. Or from that beginning of the season, which we all can agree on, it was bad. It was bad. So at 2-4, there's no way, thought this thing was going to turn around. That's why all the Manny Diaz talk was going on because there was no way we thought this team was going to turn around. We had very, very slow start on the offense. We weren't tackling well. We weren't playing good special teams. There was a lot of things that were going on, but we had some breaks here and there that didn't go our way that made me feel a little bit more comfortable. And once those breaks start going our way, we've been able to win some ball games and we beat some pretty good teams.
And, these are the same kids, Lamar, that quite frankly, well, some of them are the same, that quite frankly, they quit the last 2-3 seasons in November. I mean, this is a team that has not finished November very well at all. So I don't take that for granted that they're going to play hard. I don't think it's a take for granted type of situation. And, I think you have a unique perspective on it because you've been on the other side of it where you're trying to get kids to play hard. And it's not like there's been that much at stake.
And Gary, these kids today, they smoke a lot of something. They smoke a lot. And so they sit in the back and they're like this. They zoned out a lot. So you have to be able to keep their attention some type of way. And I think it starts, like I said, their leadership. Somehow, some way, they've gotten it where they figured it out, where guys are now starting to play to the potential we thought they could.
All right, I'm going to bring in a guy that always plays hard.
Yeah.
That's the voice of the fan, Bruce Warner. Bruce, welcome back to the LT show.
Got my Black Friday Miami Hurricanes.
How do you feel about this subject, Bruce? About I was telling Lamar that if I say that the kids deserve credit and Manny deserves credit for playing hard, I get lit up. Like, dude, no.
I'm 100% in your corner because they're playing so hard and playing well. They're playing hard. That means we need to forget about all the missed tackles and the targeting penalties and the jumping off sides and the late hits and, fumbles and dumb plays and fielding the ball inside the 5. All that's and not being ready at the beginning of every game, most of the games this season. I think all of that gets thrown away because they're playing hard. I agree with you. So let's keep them another year or two. Why not?
Well, that's everybody's
answer. Wait. Hey, man, were you smoking that stuff that
I was.
That I said these kids were smoking?
Yeah, in the backyard just now. Yeah,
you are laid back now, boy. Look at you.
Yeah, I'm just chilling now. Listen. I've had enough. I've watched this and we've been on this and CaneSport Live, and all the things that we've spent talking about all during the season cannot be forgotten because they're playing hard. That's crap.
Well,
that's Rutgers. That's Vanderbilt. That's those teams. That's not us. To get to this point, bring back Alonzo when he said we're playing for national championships, not the damn Coastal. That's my opinion too.
Well, unfortunately, after 2-4, we needed a little glimmer of hope. And I hear exactly what you're saying, and I can agree with you at a little bit of it, but at the same time, man, again, with the turnovers, with the bad tackling, with the slow starting, with the not being on the same page, not calling the plays, and all that stuff. I'm still happy I've been happy walking out of that stadium because it was such an awful feeling going to those games and walking away, looking at the fans from Michigan State and looking at the fans from the other teams we lost to, and they're talking crap. Yeah. And I'm just like, now it's just like, okay, yeah, you know what? Those teams are playing well. Virginia Tech played good. Their receivers kept them in the game. That quarterback was a tough son of a gun. but we won the game, and I'll take that.
So who other than Van Dyke, who Gary has been touting all week, and I said it like a week or two ago when Bernie was on, I said, this kid is so good. He's carrying this team. And him and the Rooster, Mallory's getting a little better. But out of all the other guys on the roster, you're going to tell me who's playing really well and who you can say, you don't know what the hell they're doing. You don't. This guy is so good, and Rooster's so good, and the receivers are catching balls. But that's really why they're winning, because of him. That's really the reason, not because of Manny. What the hell did he do?
Well, you know what? He's still the guy. He's still the guy. He's still the head coach. But I wanted to talk about Rooster for a second.
He's your head coach. He ain't my head coach anymore. And I heard Gary talking to Matt before and what they were doing before, and he's 1,000,000% right. Gary, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, this kid really is. I said it a few weeks ago. I remember I said to you guys, they had to have known that De'Aaron King was not healthy. They had to have known. And if they didn't know,
felt he was 100% healthy, though, Bruce. I'll tell you that.
They said he was 100%?
Going into Alabama, they felt he was 100% healthy. He got hurt very early in that game. He was getting pummeled.
I watched him, and because I saw some of the videos you guys posted, and I saw some of the practices and the throws. The two of them have rockets, Garcia and TVD. And every ball that De'Aaron King threw out there, whether it was an out pattern or a fly, whatever it was floated. I didn't think he had any zip on the ball. Maybe his right knee, which is his bad knee, which is his push-off foot, was bothering him. But he's not going to tell anybody because that's De'Aaron King. But he was. I don't think they got Tyler Van Dyke and or Garcia ready to step in if, God forbid, something happened. And it did. Bruce, and it cost them a couple of games.
Bruce, Norman Smith said, don't forget about Rambo.
Oh, yeah, Rambo's great. Yeah, Rambo. Yeah. Rambo was great before Manny Diaz, though. He got here from Oklahoma and was already great. But you know what? He's the benefit of having Van Dyke. He really has benefited. He's made some spectacular plays. Yeah. He told us a few weeks ago he's not coming back. No, he's really not coming back. Yeah, he's definitely not coming back.
Let's talk receivers for a minute, Lamar. Okay. Because we got two of them that are about to rewrite the record books.
Yeah.
This weekend. We'll start with Rambo. He's 91 yards away from matching the single season record for receiving yards. Yeah. And he's one catch away from the single season reception record. He's got 71 catches, 1,071 yards right now. Leonard Hankerson set the record in 2010 with 72. Alan Hearns set the single season record for receiving with 1162 in 2013. Rambo has exploded.
It's been amazing to watch. It's been amazing to watch because, again, not knowing much about the kid, maybe he saw his name when he was at Oklahoma, but to see the kid come here, and just like KJ Osborne, come here and come from another school and come in and jump right in and do his thing. It's been great to watch, and I'm happy for those guys, and hell. I wish I could have had a year like that, but I mean, these guys are playing out of their minds, and it could even been even better. Just think, there were some drops, not taking anything away from it. There were maybe some bad throws. There were some things, a fumble here and there, but man, it's been a great year, and it will continue. But they got two more games, the whole game, the two.
And Keyshawn Smith stepped it up at the second half too, because we kept on saying how important he was earlier to take the safeties deep, and he's been doing it. He's made some really tough catches. So the receivers to me have really stepped it up, although not the ones you thought, but they're gone already, which is good. Now, Gary, what do you know about Redding? Is Redding going to be in the rotation, or he might
next year? He should be. If he doesn't, if he sticks it out, he should be next year. He was coming.
He was coming
in fall camp, But I also wanted to be Dan Sileo is going to be joining us shortly, I believe. But I did want to get into Mike Harley also. He's 5 catches away, Lamar, from the career receptions record. And the amazing thing about Harley is that he came into school, and as a freshman, he told you that he was going to erase you from the record book.
Well, not as a freshman. So at the Paradise Camp a couple months ago when he was in his reach.
Oh, okay.
Year 6 or 5 or how long he's been here, but he told myself and Michael Irvin, we're standing there, and he walked up to us and said, "Hey man, no disrespect to you guys, but I'm gonna break your records." And I was like, "Hey man,
Lamar, it's your record." It's your record.
Well,
No.
I got passed.
Oh.
I got passed by Reggie Wayne.
Oh, okay.
I broke Michael's record. And before Dan gets on, I was telling Gary, hey, I like to give Mike shit about it, but in all actuality, Mike did it in 3 years. I had a redshirt year where I didn't play, where I got to learn about college. Mike came right in, 3 years, boom, record. I had a redshirt year and another year, so I took 4 years to get it. Mike's taking 5. I mean, it is what it is. Records are meant to be broken however many years you have, but I got to give a lot of credit to Mike. And Reggie. Reggie got to play a lot as a freshman. But Mike, man, he did everything he did within 3 years. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Right.
Reggie was amazing for 4 years.
We'll talk a little bit more receivers in a little bit later in the show, but I'm going to bring in a guy that I'm a huge fan of. The radio voice. I'll let him explain all the stuff he does. I just see the tweets, but a guy that's not afraid to give his opinions on anything, and that's our main man Dan Sileo. And Dan, welcome to the Lamar Thomas Show.
Absolutely, very proud to be here, and thank you for having me. Anything for my boy. He's one of my guys, and you know that,
bro.
Lamar. Always.
Bro.
Anything you need from me, I'm there for you.
Appreciate it, man. I want people to hear your story about how you got to the University of Miami. That's what I want people to hear. Tell them that story.
It's I was a backup defensive tackle at the University of Maryland. We had won the ACC championship, and I played with Boomer Esiason. It was a really good football team. And I got in trouble. I threw a guy out of a window. And,
you're our type of guy. You are type of guy.
Now, Lamar, wait a minute. It sounds really, like this dude threw a dude off for no. It was into a snowbank. But then again, my family walked into Bobby Ross's office and said, please do whatever you can. He threw me out of school. So LSU in Oklahoma gave me a scholarship, and I was ready to go play for Barry Switzer. Believe it or not, it's crazy. I posted the scholarship numerous times, and all of a sudden Butch Davis calls me, and he goes, listen, Sileo, I hear you're a good football player. Would you like to come to Miami? I said, yeah, I'd love to come to Miami. He goes, well, I can't give you a scholarship right now. If you earn it during the summer camp, we'll give you a full ride. I said, why would I do that, LSU? He goes, because those places are nowhere. And I went like this, and I said, okay. I said, so what do you do for me? And he goes like this, well, I promise you'll have an opportunity to play here. Sure enough, I get down to Miami. Jimmy Johnson goes like this to me after I killed everybody that I played against, killed everything that was in front of me. Jimmy stops practice and goes like this, Dan, you've earned your scholarship. It's all good. You're now a University of Miami guy. And I dropped to my knees and I said, thank God Almighty. I pushed all my chips in. And when I left the University of Miami, I was, as a junior, the 56th player taken. I was a junior. I had gone on and done the things that I wanted to do. It was one of the greatest times of my life being there. Again, my senior year got taken from me by those communist people at the NCAA. I like to call them the National Communist Association of America.
That's why I love this guy.
Okay, I hate those people. Still, I ended up leaving a mark there at that school, and I love playing next to Jerome Brown, and it's truly one of the greatest things. I just love being a Hurricane.
Well, you're still up on the wall. I mean, as far as the record.
Yeah.
I passed through the weight room a couple of times when I was there.
Hey, Lamar, you one of them pretty guys out there like Michael Irvin and guy. Hey, the wide receivers at the University of Miami back in the day, got to remember Perriman, Blades, and all them dudes that were back in the day. These guys were like the rock stars at the University of Miami. These guys were like me and Jerome, man. We're kind of like the grunts and Winston Moss and them dudes. These guys were like the big stars at Miami because the offensive guys got all the love. And we used to go, wait a minute over here, man. So, hey, listen, dude, you know how much I love you, man. I tell you all the time, it's just a different era back then. We had the conveyor belt going. And what I mean by the conveyor belt, I had Russell Maryland and Cortez Kennedy behind me. Okay. And I played next to JB. And when I left, those guys took over. We nurtured Maryland. I recruited Tez. We did so many things, and we've just lost our way a little bit in that, because I'll tell you guys something. The University of Miami used to be a place of dreams, and what I mean by that is Woodrow Wilson, Dade, Broward, Belle Glades, all those kids, man, who didn't have an opportunity to go to college, all those inner city kids, guess where they're going now? They're going to Alabama, Clemson, LSU. They're going to all those places. Miami doesn't recruit those guys. And you keep telling me Miami has a great recruiting class? Well, I want the guys that Alabama's getting. Okay? I want those dudes, because I saw last year in the national championship game, all 4 of the DBs were from South Florida. And I'm going, wait a minute here. I thought we were recruiting. I don't know. I don't know how anybody gets out of the triangle any longer.
Easily. They just say we're leaving. They're not even giving Miami a chance. But sadly enough, Dan, Miami's not even on some of these guys. I mean, we had Uncle Luke on a few weeks ago. He's got a 4 or 5-star receiver. They haven't even spoken to him.
The kid that's going to Clemson?
Yes.
That's the kid, yeah.
I'm
ridiculous.
How does that guy get the frig out of South Florida? What are you looking at here, man? By the way, those kids are the kids that made Miami what it was. You know what's funny, guys? Miami likes pimping the U, but they hate the guys that made the U. Okay? They hate the dudes that fucking made that place. It makes me sick to my stomach that, you know what they do? They do the turnover chain. They do all that stuff. They do this and that. We made that place, and guess what they won't do? They won't bring the kids in that made the place. They like getting these, hey, Lamar, you'll love this. You know those suburban guys like me and the brothers that are in the suburban area? Man, I want inner city kids. Those are the guys that make the U.
I grew up in the suburbs.
Yeah, but you're hey, you know what,
Suburbs of Gainesville.
Don't blow your cover, man. Then you sound like Rick Ross. Don't do that, man.
Just because my parents are listening, they had a really, really good job.
Hey, wait a minute. Hey, Lamar, I sound tough. I grew up in Connecticut, so all right.
Hey, the environment made us tough when we got down there with the rest of those guys. We were like, okay, well, you got to be tough. You can't be soft. So I'm all in. Yeah.
Hey, Dan, former Canes in show business. There's The Rock, and then there's Dan Sileo. Okay. Yeah. So tell everybody like what you're doing and what the Dan Sileo show is and how they can listen.
I'll tell you flat out, man. The Rock and I have become, you know what's really crazy about our fraternity? So I tweeted something out at Rock, like, I don't know, about 8 months ago. He wrote this incredible thing. He goes, Dan Sileo, one of the greatest Canes of all time. Every time you walk into Miami Hurricane weight room, every kid wants to break your record. My God, I used to look at that. You're a god. You were a great football player. I watched film on you for hours, and I'm going like, I didn't even know the guy knew my name. And me and him have become really good friends. And I really admire the fact of what he's done. And, you know, it's funny, you know, The Rock has really gone on to do superstar things, and his love for the Canes have been great. And he follows me, and it's crazy. It's really I tweeted this out the other day. It's the greatest fraternity in college football history. There's nothing. I mean, look, we had 4 guys today on the semifinalist list for the Hall of Fame today. 4 dudes from the University of Miami are on the semifinalist list. And I talk about this. I'm doing this podcast. It's based in Philadelphia. By the way, we're getting like 50,000 people viewing the show each and every single day, which is pretty crazy. I mean, wow. It's and we started this thing in April. And as you could tell, it's probably my rousing personality or whatever it is. I mean, I don't know what it is. But it all goes – you know what people think, guys, that I started this trash talking when I got into the media. Man, I've been talking crap since I was next to Jerome. Made me this. So I do that, and I do a national radio show at night. And I've been in broadcasting now for probably 30 years now. And so, you know, we had Coach Wanstad on. Hey, Lamar, you'll like this. So they asked Dave goes like this to me. He goes, Sills, what do you think Jimmy would do if you had a 5-6 record right now? I said, man, they'd be running that inside drill until Kevin O'Neal begged him to stop.
No, what about that 12-minute run?
Dude, no. The 16-110s.
Oh, man. Wait.
The 16-110s that Jimmy used to have, I made them once. I made them once in my life, and I made them once in Dallas. And I'm going like, holy cow, man. I mean, dude, we worked. My toughest games were Monday through Saturday. No, Monday through Friday at Green Tree. The rest of them things that I think I played on Saturdays, hey, man, those were what Jerome and I called tackles and sacks. And if we were on national TV, Big Sills turned to I used to turn to George Meyer and go, you better pad up, dude, because Big Sills is getting in the backfield. I'm going to make me some plays, man. I got to get on TV.
Hey, Dan, don't forget about him starting practices over. If you're already to the last period, which you can't do now. You can't do that. You can only have so much time with these kids. But that's you are to the last period. It's one period to go. You're looking at the clock and start it over. I'm talking about from stretching, start it over.
So we used to start our practices out. We would do 30 minutes of pursuit drill.
Yep.
And all we would do was just run to the ball. And the wide receivers would line up wide. And once that would throw the ball, and we would have to run to pursuit.
Yep.
Then we would go to individual. Then what we would do is we would go like this. Hey, man. Hey, let's go inside drill. And, man, I'm playing against Bratton and Highsmith, and we're just beating the piss out of these guys. Lonzo spikes the ball. Hey, it was some of the most competitive stuff I have ever been involved in. And I'll tell you what, man, guys, I love every single dude that I played with at the University of Miami. I mean, those guys are my brothers, and I'll say it again to you. When I die, Jerome's got the U on his tombstone, and I buried him. And I'll tell you what, you'll have the U on my tombstone, and it'll be on my tombstone too when I die.
So Dan, so now
wait, Bruce, wait. Hey Dan, I know one place that won't be on your tombstone, the Buccaneers.
Because I had a racist. Oh wait, should I say that a racist owner in Hugh Culverhouse, man? I don't know. He had something. Hey, Lamar. He had something against Italians and brothers. I don't know what it was, man.
He won't give me that money, man. He won't give me that cheese, man.
Oh no! Hey, when he gave me $600,000, I was like this. So you gave me Jerome Brown money, and he goes, yeah. I go, how you doing?
Yeah, Bruce.
Yeah, so, you're talking about back in the day and all the leadership. You guys had leaders, and you guys fought for each other. And we've had Leon, and all these guys have been on the show, and they're all telling us the same thing, that those practices, they're not saying that they were harder than the games, but in a way they were, because the games were not. So a lot of them weren't as tough as what was happening on Green Tree. So now you're watching, here we are 20, 30 years later, and it seems like it's a country club. Talk about what your perception is, the tackling, the bonehead plays, the penalties, the targeting. It doesn't seem to go away. The getting off to a horrible start, not maybe in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Well, they did against Florida State, but nothing seems to be the same. It's all gone, it seems like. It's like evaporated.
Bruce, I never practiced tackling at Miami. Jimmy recruited tacklers. Playing defense is not a position. It's a mentality. And we had guys on our side of the ball that we practiced game situation. You know what those guys don't do today? We practice game tempo. Everything we did, going to drills, getting water, doing this. Game tempo was everything. There was a sense of urgency on every single freaking thing that we did. And when I watch these kids, these guys are on the sidelines taking selfies and shit and all that other stuff. It bugs me because you know what? You take selfies when you kill FSU or you beat Florida. You don't take selfies when you get a 2-point lead in the second quarter. What is that? That is a lack of. I'll tell you this, Bruce.
Can you imagine
that stuff?
Can you imagine
Bruce,
if
I saw
Jerome
that stuff
that?
On my sidelines, I would smack that kid in the face.
Yeah.
If I saw something like that, win the game. Hey, guess what? You know what a down year was for us? 10-2.
Yeah, 10-2.
These guys are 5-6, and they're walking around like they're like, I'm like, come on, man, you got to be better than this, guys. It just looks like a different mentality at Miami. Now, maybe, again, I hope I'm not sounding like get off my lawn, old man guy, but I'll tell you what.
Relax.
But Bruce, that same mentality's at Alabama right now.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Yes, you got a chip on your. And we knew that if you guys played a bad game, forgetting about losing a bad game, the next week somebody was getting their ass kicked.
How about this? I'll give you guys this. We started the 58 home game win streak in '85, right?
Right.
So we get beat by Florida down in we got beat at the OB too, which was sacrilegious getting beat at the OB and by those dudes, okay?
Right.
We show up on that Monday, man. Jimmy Johnson was so pissed off. Holy cow. I that whole week, we ripped off 10 straight wins after that, and then we never lost another game for, 10 years after that or whatever it was. But, man, I'll tell you what, we had to do Lamar knows this, you had to do up-downs for the amount of point differential. Do you know that the most up-downs I ever did at Miami were 6? Okay, just so you know. I did 6 up-downs in 3 years at UM, just so you know.
Hey, don't forget about the 12-minute run where we had to do both sides when we lost.
Dude, you know what was so great about guys like him and everybody else? So I'm out there practicing with Michael Irvin. Michael runs a mile frontwards, then he runs a mile backwards. And I go like this. I don't know. You guys may not know. I know Lamar does. You know, okay, so like Tone Loke used to have like this clock around him, and he used to have this watch around him, and he used to wear it around his neck, the stopwatch. And Michael Irvin used to go like this. Let me tell you something, man. 4'5", I'm a Hall of Famer. He was 17 when he was saying that. He goes, 4'5", I'm a Hall of Famer, Sills. And he was 17. I looked at him and I went like this. He's running a mile frontwards. He's running a mile backwards. I see Blades and Perriman and Jerome, myself, Winston Moss, Alonzo, all these guys. We're out there just working. This was after a 3-hour practice. We're out there. How about this? So Maryland comes to me, and he goes like this. Russell goes, hey, Sills, can you help me? And I said, what do you need? He goes, I'm falling down a lot. And Butch Davis looked at me and Jerome goes, man, I don't know about this guy. He falls down. We looked at him and went, you're high, man. This guy's a good football player. He's just young. He falls down. The guys that came to us and wanted us to work with him, like Willis Pegues and guys like Hawkins and all these guys, and Greg Mark. Greg Mark used to follow me around like he was my brother. And I used to tell these guys, dude, just work your ass off and you'll be great because this place is going to give you an opportunity. I just don't see that today.
Yeah, look at the depth you guys had. And then Jimmy Jones, who was spectacular. He wasn't even a starter, but he was great.
I love Jimmy. I didn't know where Okeechobee was until he finally told me. I had no idea. Hey, let me tell you guys a cute story. So we're at Butch Davis's house. He's cooking for us all, Jerome, myself, Stubbs, and everybody. And Butch had this, like, you know those canals in South Florida that, you know, you have them in your backyard. They're really deep, right? Those waterway canals.
Yep.
So it's in the backyard. All of a sudden, he jumps in, we jump in, we're all swimming behind Butch's house. All of a sudden, Jimmy Jones goes down, and Jimmy Jones goes, I can't swim. He thought he was just jump in. This dude was drowning. We jump in the water. We saved this guy. We drag his ass out. I go, why'd you jump in? He goes, well, you guys did. I go, you can't freaking swim. Hey, man, I love that kid, man. Yeah. Derwin, too, rest his soul, man. What a good. Hey, so you guys, here's one, too. Jerome used to sit in the locker room and go, this is a little edgy here. So Jerome used to go like this. He'd go, man, Greg, you know what, man? I'll tell you what, those terry cloth shorts of yours, man, they ain't cutting it, man. He used to call him Greg because he was so black. This guy looked gray. And Jerome used to call him Gray. And I'm going like, he goes, hey, Gray, you need to put some lotion on that ass, man. It ain't working for you, man. And it was such a great time in the locker room. And by the way, guys, when you say that stuff in the public, people don't get it. But we all just loved one another, man, in our locker room. It was just a different world than it is today.
Hey, Sills, if somebody mentioned your name to me, the thing I remember is I don't remember ever seeing you take a play off. I mean, every minute of every practice, every minute of every game, man, you were full speed ahead, 100 miles an hour. And we were talking earlier in the show, if you were watching the Canes the last 4 or 5 weeks, the kids have been playing really hard. I mean, that's
yes, no. Hey, Gary, and I said this the other day. The one thing that I'm very proud of those kids, they bench some of them older dudes that quit. They put some of the younger kids in, and they're playing hard. They haven't quit on the coach, and I'm very proud of that.
Yeah, so, if I say that in a public forum on CaneSport.com or whatever, I get lit up. Lamar and I were joking about it. I get killed, man.
That's because they want Manny fired, and they don't want any kudos given to the coaching staff right now.
He's right.
Because the coaching staff right now has kept those kids playing hard. You know, they changed it since Michigan State, and they have been playing hard. And I even tweeted that out at my Twitter page. I said, I don't care what Canes fans say. These kids are playing hard. Wow. And I love the fact that the quarterback is from Connecticut, too. So I got something in common with the kid. But they're playing hard, Gary. And I know you've been covering this team for a long time. And you're right, man. I mean, they're playing hard. And to go to what you said about me, you know what's crazy? 86 – I had 100 tackles. I outplayed Jerome. I did everything because you know why? I looked over at that guy, and I said, I want to be that guy. Mm-hmm. I want to be what that guy is. So every play, Jerome could do this. He could take 2 plays off and all of a sudden have the next 5 plays, 2 sacks, 3 tackles for losses, an interception, and he killed the team, and you're going like, how come I can't do that shit, man? Why does that guy always get that? It's like I had to be consistent like that. He was so dynamic. And, you know, I just hope we get those flash players again at the program. I just don't see it. And, Gary, for us to be considered the worst tackling team in the country, I mean, you've been covering this team long enough. Yes, that's absurd to hear that, isn't it?
It's insane. Yeah, it's insane. But, you know, the thing I wanted to ask you is, should effort be a given? Should it be just assumed? Or should is it okay for us to give kudos to these kids for playing hard down the stretch?
That's a great point. You know, it's like thanking somebody for not robbing a bank. You know, I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, right. It's like thanking somebody for being a good dude.
That's what the fans say. That's what they say. What the hell are you talking about?
No, it's a great point. And I tell people, like I said to you, the guys that they're recruiting, if you're not a tackler, you know, Jimmy Johnson used to tell me, I want guys that love the game and I want guys that are playmakers. You think they're recruiting them 2 dudes? I don't think so.
I don't know who they're recruiting. They don't seem to know. And the guys that they've been hitting on, they're missing that.
But Bruce, how can you have 2 first-rounders last year off the D-line and you suck?
One was a transfer, and the other one was a transfer. Roche and Phillips. They didn't come here because of Mandy. They transferred here.
You know what's crazy, Bruce? I was
serious.
Transfer, and I against it. Get them South Florida kids' asses in that place, man.
I agree with you, but they have to be identified early, and they're not. There's that whole recruiting office has problems. I mean, Gary will tell you the whole office.
Hey, Bruce, great point. I'll tell you something. Let me show you guys the difference between Bama and LSU. Do you know what the admissions has for admissions in Alabama? Do you know that the admissions rate is 87%? Miami is at 23%. So when Manny goes with 20 guys, this is what Jimmy and Dennis and Howard used to argue with admissions, and this is why we hated Tad Foote so much. It's because they would roll in there and they go, we want these 20 kids. Well, no, you can only have these 8 guys. They're like, wait a minute, you want to build this program, you got to do it the right way. Here, Willis Pegues was a horrific student in high school, but you know what he ended up doing? He ended up graduating, going into the NFL, and having a pretty decent career.
Yeah, he went to the Houston Oilers.
Hey, Dan, I can't wait to talk to you again. I'm going to tell you my Willis Pegues story.
Yeah. Man, that dude, hey, I used to call him the Riddler because he didn't say anything. I was like, Willis, you all right, man? He's like, that dude, man, he was like Casper the Ghost sometimes in our meetings.
Have you seen him lately, though? He looks pretty good. He's looking good.
Is he like a security dude?
He looks like it with the dark glasses. He looks like a fly.
He's a black fly. All them guys are my boys, man. I love
they're all great.
Hey, Phil, when can I come on your show, man? I want to come on that show, bro.
I'll get you. Hey, how about this, man? After the holidays, man, you come on. We'll do it in the January time, all right? You come on my show. We'll talk shit.
National love. I want to.
Hey, by the way, can I tell you guys? I'll drop some love on something here for you. You ready? Guess who wants the Miami job if something happens to Manny?
Lane Kiffin.
Okay, sounds good. I had Ed Orgeron today. Coach O wants the job.
Big hats and pina colada. Big hats and pina colada.
Here, wait a minute, Bruce. He built USC. He built LSU. And the athletic director, according to people that were close to Ed, the athletic director sabotaged him. I talked to him tonight. And let me say this to you. He's 49-17 at LSU with a national title. You fire that, and then you turn around and you give that dude, James Franklin, over the last 19 games, James Franklin is 10-9-0.
Right.
And you give him a 10-year contract?
How
What's
about Mel
James
Tucker?
Franklin done?
How about what Michigan State did with Mel Tucker? That's unbelievable.
Dude, 1 year, you give that guy a 10-year deal?
He's never won anything.
Hey.
But,
Lamar, you and me got it wrong.
Aren't there other issues with Orgeron?
Hey, we need to be head coaches, man. I'll tell you that. Because those guys, hey, when Jesse James robbed banks, he used a gun at least.
Hey, Sam Weiss had the best quote ever. After the game, we got our ass beat, and he called up everybody and gave them their checks. He called this one guy Scott Deal. He said, "You might as well put on a fucking ski mask because you're robbing the fucking organization."
Hey, watch this. Lamar, you get your check like this.
I dropped like 5 balls at one game. That was my first NFL start. And he threw a check up and said, "Don't drop the check." I said, "Oh, no, I ain't going to drop this."
Hey, you know what, though? I say this one thing about all them dudes at QAM. All them Al Golden lovers out there. How's that working out for you?
Al Golden Showers. Al Golden Showers. Hey, by the way, when I was at Louisville, we beat him on the opening day. I beat Petrino over to shake his hand first, and I said, "Tighten up, motherfucker." That's what I told him. And
Dude, I hate
on
that.
the ass
Hey,
and I ran off.
that guy was trying to tell me that he was building champions through like New Jersey. I'm like, no, man. You build champions through Miami and South Florida. You don't build them. No. Hey, I don't ever remember Rutgers being good.
One time with Shiano. One time with Shiano. One time, right?
I do like Greg. Greg. He's one of Butch's boys. I do like Greg, man. I'm friends with him.
So what do you think's going to happen, Dan?
Uh-oh.
You know, there's a part of me that likes I like Manny. I talk to Manny a lot. They're playing hard.
Yep.
They fit. You know what, though? Like you guys said, I can't give a guy a gold star for playing hard, man. I mean, what is he, 19-16 or 19-15? I mean.
You know what the problem is, Dan? They can't separate. It's like win some, lose some. Every game is a one-play game.
Yeah.
Until they figure out the way to separate, it can't change. So they got to get.
But Gary, we're losing to roadkill teams.
I know. They got to get an elite recruiter in the building.
Carolina, these nobody programs that. North Carolina's a hoop program, and they run for 700 yards on us. I'm like, Jesus criminy. You know, that's my biggest disconnect is that I've got to realize who they are now. But for me and Lamar, man, when you lose against roadkill teams, I'm like, man, I can't swallow that, man. I mean, hey, I see FSU in Florida. Those were the only acceptable because we knew each other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We knew one another. And I'm going like this, man. Losing to Carolina or Virginia. Do you know what they do, Gary? Hey, Bruce, you know what they do at Virginia? They build atomic bombs and debate teams. They don't build football teams at those places. That's the place of Thomas Jefferson. That's not the place of John Jefferson, the former receiver with the Chargers.
I wanted you on the show.
I'm like, wait a minute, man. Don't they build bombs and debate teams in Virginia? You're losing to that kind of team? Give me a break.
Hey, we played Duke Saturday. We've had trouble with them. We've had trouble with those guys.
Bruce, wash your mouth out with soap. Duke.
They beat us down here with the Giants.
They've lost the Duke multiple times in the last few years.
And it took a 19 pitch. One time we won the game on 19 pitches.
Yeah, 19. Yeah.
Oh my God.
On the kickoff.
Hey, guys, can I tell you how Cane's guys? I tell you how the Cane alumni watch his team, and how we watch him every Saturday. I'm going to show you.
Yeah.
Well,
We're going like this. Oh my God. Wait a minute. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's how we watch games, because I don't see the explosive offense, and I don't see the big playmaking defensive guys that knock guys out. And I played on the greatest D-line in Hurricane history with Hawkins, Stubbs, and Jerome. Okay, I understand that, and maybe it's unfair. And every year I was there with the number one defense in the country, so it's probably unfair. But, dude, you can't be the worst tackling team in the country. You just can't be.
I don't even think they're physical. Hurricane, Dan, who uses a Jerome Brown jersey as an avatar, he wants you on the sideline so that if they do miss.
No, you don't. No, no, you don't. Because when these guys would walk off the field, I'd go like this to them. I go, so you just gave up 100 yards rushing. I go, do you know that we would sit on the sidelines, and our number one objective was to be the lowest points against defense in the country. I used to get so offended when we gave up 3 points or 6 points or whatever. We used to get so offended that someone would score. I think we went through a streak where we had 25 consecutive quarters where we didn't give up a rushing touchdown. And I was like this. I think we gave up 1 year 4 rushing touchdowns or 5 rushing touchdowns. And I was like, we're not giving up rushing touchdowns because that's a man's thing. You're just not doing it, dude. And these guys, I mean, when I see 100 yards or 200 yards, God forbid, 300 yards rushing, man, I mean, I can't tell you how that – my aunt calls me and she goes, you all right? I go, not really. Hey, get this, I'm 56 years old.
Hey, Dan, so we had Greg Mark on, and I asked him the question about last year's North Carolina game when we couldn't seal the edge. Now we were playing Michigan State. 6 games later, we still can't seal the edge. He was blown away by it. That's part of what I'm talking about.
Setting the edge?
What? Yeah.
You know what my wife used to say, Bruce? How does anybody get wide on Miami? That was never – you never were – we had so much speed.
You can't run the route.
Right. You can't – nobody could turn the corner on Miami.
We had so much – watch this. I was 290 pounds and ran a 4.81. Jerome ran a 4.8 at 315. Stubbs ran a 4.6. Fagan ran a 4.5. Hawkins ran a 4.4. Jimmy didn't really allow guys with 5 flat 40s running on. Nobody ran a 5 flat over on defense. They became O-linemen, guys. They were never good. Like Gary Mahon and them dudes. They moved them dudes over to the other side.
I ain't heard that name in a long time.
Hey, but they moved them dudes. If you ran a 5.01, hey, you need to see Coach Wise. He's over there in the corner. Go over there because you needed to run. And I ran 4.81s at 288, and Jerome was 315 at 4.8. Can you imagine that? This was back 30 years ago when they didn't have guys that size running like that, and we were just so dominant, man. It's not setting the edge, Bruce. Dude, that's like, how do you get wide on South Florida kids?
Hey, Sileo.
It's mind-numbing.
I also don't think that they're strong enough.
Let's hire your wife. Somebody said, let's hire your wife.
Hey, my wife goes like this. That 76 can play. I'm like, you think that kid Sap's good? He was a tight end, and Mark Caesar told him to come over and play defensive tackle. And he goes, that kid can play. And she also goes like this. That dude right there, Big Vince, I love this kid. Hey, he's a Hall of Fame candidate right now. So she used to look at these guys. Then she said to me the other day, she goes, man, when's the last time you guys had a defensive tackle that was worth the shit? I went, it's got to be Vince.
Yeah. Leonard Taylor's got potential.
Who?
Leonard Taylor.
Yeah, no. Is that 5-star kid they got?
Yeah, he's got potential.
Yeah, he looks like he's got potential. The only thing he needs to do a little bit better, he needs to shed the blocks a little bit more because sometimes he allows the O-lineman to get into him a little bit. But that comes – this was his freshman year?
Yes.
Yeah.
That just comes with reps. He'll be better, way better next year.
And he got here late. I think he got here, May or June, right, Gary?
Okay,
he was late.
It must have been a qualification thing with his grades or something like that.
That was all the time with us.
Yeah.
Hey, so Dan, what time's your show? What time?
No. What I did was I took the night off, so I'm good. So I made sure because Lamar needed me here, so I took a little time off.
I was afraid we were going to lose viewers.
Yeah, they're loving you, man. They said this should go viral.
Nobody's talking that Sileo guy.
See all them balls behind me? Jimmy Johnson gave me every one of them. Game ball, Florida. Game ball, FSU. Game ball, Cincinnati. Game ball, Pittsburgh. Game ball against Notre Dame. Game ball against even the Penn State game when I led the team in tackles. I got all – and there's my Outland Trophy ball. I was on the watch list after Jerome left. So, and Jimmy comes on and he goes, I gave you all those? I go – he goes, shit, man, I must have been drunk when I gave you all them. I was like,
he was on those green lizards. He was on the green lizards, dog. He was on the Heinekens. Jimmy was great on those Heinekens, man.
Hey, I'll tell you this. So we were at the Fiesta Bowl, and Jimmy lined up 15 shots of tequila. Somebody dropped in some Tabasco sauce, and every one of them, he gunned them all.
What?
I mean, I'll tell you what. Oh, man. Hey, wait a minute, Lamar. Gary Stevens on a Sunday after a big Canes win. What was he like walking up and down the coaching offices? Man. Bare feet, hammered.
Oh, man. Eyes red as hell.
Like this. Going like this.
I had him with the Dolphins when he had braces. Fucking Lamar, you're a Miami guy. You're a Miami guy. That's all you say. You're a Miami guy. You're a Miami guy. And you know what? He was right.
Yeah.
There's something to being a Miami guy. It's a Miami guy. And, we want to get these kids. That's why we had that meeting. We want to see how we can help these kids become Miami guys, not just the
Lamar,
guys.
I like this kid Rambo.
I love him. Yeah.
Unfortunately, he's leaving.
He's leaving.
Yeah, but another transfer, right?
Yeah.
Transfer.
Yeah. A 1-year transfer. That's what he's got. He got him. He got Phillips. He got Roche. He got Osborne. He's getting all the 1-year transfers. That's really what's helped him out, that portal. He's lucky.
Yeah, you know what he's using it as? He's using it as free agency.
Yeah.
And all the mistakes that they're making in recruiting covers
Yeah.
up everything. But then at the end of the day, Miami loses their image and they lose their soul on who they are as a program when you got these dudes. And by the way, I'm a transfer. Just so you know, I hate it. Okay? There's too many of them. I mean, look, when you had guys like me and Vinny and guys that were from out of state, there were only a handful of us. Stubbs, myself. Can you imagine beating out a South Florida kid? Okay? Do you know how hard that was? You had to be spectacular to beat these because Jimmy was going to play South Florida kids over out-of-state kids every single day. There's no way in the planet that Jimmy Johnson would have or use that portal like that. There's no way he would use that stuff.
Well, because he trusts his judgment. He trusted his coaching staff.
And they were spectacular recruiters, Bruce.
Look at the staff you guys had. Yeah, and the recruiters. But the players got better. I don't see much improvement from these guys either.
They're terrible talent. Get this. So, like, even Dave wants that. Look at this. So Dave's at Pitt. He brings in Darrell Revis, Aaron Donald. He brings in Curtis Martin. He brings in him and look what Butch did. Ed Reed and Wolfert and all those dudes they brought in. They were on my coaching staff. Those guys were on my staff fueling and putting in all the work in there for that Miami program. So
Dan, they're going to have to make a decision. They're searching for a new athletic director. And
Smith.
He's a candidate. And once that guy is hired, they're going to have to make a decision on Manny Diaz. If they came to you and said, Dan, what are your thoughts on that? What would you say?
Here's why Miami won't fire him. Miami will not pay. This is what you have to do. How much money is on the buyout? What is it, like $8 million, $6 million, something like that on the buyout? So you really think they're going to pay him, and then they're going to pay some of these coaches that they have on extended deals, and they're going to go out and pay some of these coaches and then turn around and go like this. Well, let's hire a coach for $6.5 million, and then they're going to pay another 12 in assistant coaches. You really think they're going to pay $20 million in new coachings, and they're going to go out there and do that? Miami's never done that. But Jimmy, Howard, Butch, all the guys, they always used to bitch about their salaries. There's no way Miami will fire this staff and then put $20 million on a new staff. You think Miami's going to pay $35 million to change the staff over? No freaking way. That's not a program that does that. They'll go cheap. They'll keep him. They'll fire assistants. They'll do whatever. But to me, there's no way. There's no way. This is a financial thing here. Many people want Miami out or Manny out, but you're not going to pay his. I mean, get this. So Ed Ogeron told me today he got $17 million walking out the door. That means LSU, who has the money, they can do that. Miami is not willing to do that. Here's the biggest problem,
Gary,
guys.
what's his buyout?
Miami has to decide that Miami football is a
4.
priority again. They have to decide Miami's a priority. It's not right now.
Well, they're going to lose a lot of people because we've had it. I'm supposed to be the voice of the fan on this particular show. Wow. I mean, we're just so fed up. I'm 67. I don't want to die and not see them play in a playoff anymore. I just don't.
Stop talking about dying, bro.
Dan, we were talking about this early in the show. I put out a story a couple days ago that there was a group in the university power structure, so to speak, that had told Manny Diaz he would be back and wanted Manny Diaz back. Lamar will tell you, I got you talk about getting lit up. This was beyond getting lit up. I mean, the thought that they would retain Manny Diaz has so many people angry. In fact, we put out a poll on Twitter today, and 10% of 843 voters said that they want Manny back. 10%.
Hey, I had to act like they were killing my guy Gary so much. I had to act like I ain't even know Gary.
And we don't.
Hey, guys! My wife is telling me right now that I have to work on a 22-pound turkey, so I go for tomorrow.
Good, baby. Thank you. Hey,
All right, so before you leave, though, tell people how they can listen to the Dan Sileo show.
Yes.
Okay, guys, all the information is over at Dan Sileo Show on my Twitter page. If you can, please go over there. I'm on the Jacob Media. It's based out of Philadelphia. We're on YouTube, and it really is one of the fastest growing shows. We have 50,000 people that check us out all the time. I mean, we really have just blown this thing up, and it's been remarkable. You know, I didn't know anything about doing shows like this because I was just an old radio head, but it's been one of the greatest transformations. Spotify is talking about picking us up now and putting us on their network now. That's the Joe Rogan network. So it's been going pretty good. Lamar, I'll get you on, man, because I'm sure we'll kick it around a little bit, guys. But hey, let me tell you this: anytime you guys need me, just let me know.
When do you do the show?
I do the show 4 to 6 Eastern time. Then I turn around and I do my national radio show. I'm off this week from 9 to midnight, and we're on in Orlando, Dallas, Minneapolis, Vegas, Seattle. I believe we're on in Iowa. We're on in Chicago, a couple other places too. So it's going really well.
Hey, bro, we need to do salt and pepper.
Hey, you know you're my boy, man. Thank you, guys.
Hey, come back again, man.
Please have me anytime you guys want.
Yeah, next time you come on, bring the rock.
I will. Thank you, man.
Love you, big bro.
That's Dan Sileo, everybody. Man, what
a piece of work.
That's what he is and always has
You
been.
put him on the same show as Father Leo, you won't get a word in edgewise.
God. We just sit back and listen. That's what you do. Just sit back and listen.
Oh my God. That was something else.
That was more than we expected. Well, we
All right,
knew
we're gonna have
great.
We're gonna have Jesse Armstead in a few minutes, but let's get back to receivers for a minute, Lamar.
Okay.
We talked about Rambo for a moment. Mike Harley, to me, is a kid worth addressing a little bit more. I mean, this is a kid; he's undersized.
Yeah.
Comes to the University of Miami, and started out very, very, very slow. I mean, he only had 9 catches as a freshman. Okay, and now we're talking about him being 5 catches away from the career catches record. Miami put a little 1-minute tribute video together on him, and I just wanted to play it real quick.
Okay.
End zone, Harley, got it, touchdown, Miami. Mike Harley makes a wonderful catch in the left corner of the end zone.
Mike has played a big role as a big brother to me. Cause when I first got here, nobody knew who I was. He kind of took me under his wing and taught me everything he knew in the short time that he was here.
he's just been there for me off the field and on the field. Like, even when in the game, I forget to play, he's right there. And off the field, like, if I need a ride or anything, he's there for me to give me the ride.
A role model, somebody that could lead us practice and in the game, and Mike is one of those people.
And him overcoming everything, and this is last year, so he might as well go out with a bang.
Throws deep down the field for Harley. He's got him at the 10, at the 5. It's a touchdown! It's a touchdown! Right on the money!
Knowing what I've been through here at this university, a lot of perseverance. That'll show a lot of guys, just never give up. And you never know. Just have faith in God. You never know where God will take you.
Did you see that, Bruce and Lamar?
Yeah.
Went into the end zone, and you just know he wanted to rip his helmet off. I mean, you just know it.
Can't do it. Can't do it.
Not anymore. Thanks to you.
Rules have changed.
Hey, Lamar, where do you put him? Is he a mid-draft pick? Is he draftable? What do you think about him? It's a tough call.
That's a tough one because all it takes is one organization to like you. That's all it takes.
But he's a slot guy. I don't think he's got blazing speed.
That's the thing. He's not going to stand out.
Right.
As far as being a big target, he's a slot guy. But someone, as we well know, and everybody wants to be. It's a copycat league. Everybody wants a Tyreek Hill guy in the slot that can dominate. Cooper Kupp. People that can dominate in the slot. The outside guy, he's becoming a little, dinosaurs, because those inside guys, you put those really good guys in there, and they can, they'll dominate. So
I bet you Brady would like someone like him because he's reliable. He's pretty reliable. He's been a lot better than he was when he started.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Rambo's going to go in probably the second round. He's not a first round guy. Maybe the third.
Hey Gary, why didn't you? I sent you what I, obviously sent to the kid, man, about breaking the records and everything. I thought we were going to have him on the show, but, obviously.
I invited him. I have a feeling he felt a little superstitious about it.
A little nervous, yeah.
So maybe next week. We'll see.
Maybe next week. But, I did a little video. They asked me to do a little video tribute to him. I sent it to you. Was it okay, Gary? I thought it was okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I basically said, hey man, records are meant to be broken, and good luck into the future and all those other great things. Unlike when I broke the record, I got a lithograph. I got a big. First of all, I got a big old box in the mail, and I was like, what the hell is this? I see it's from the Dallas Cowboys. I'm like, okay. I open it up. It's a lithograph.
Wow.
Of this guy, number 88.
Drew Pearson?
He says, let me tell you what he says. He says, records are meant to be broken, and if you ever forget what a great receiver looks like, look up over your bed and look at my picture. Michael Irvin. I took that shit outside and I shot BB guns at it every day.
Hey Lamar, you know what Friday is, right?
Is it Black Friday?
Yes, sir. It's Black Friday. And you know what? I mean, you're going to be in Gainesville probably still, but you know what people got to do on Black Friday, right?
Shop.
They got to go to all Canes. I was talking to Harry today, and they've got some big Black Friday to Cyber Monday sales going on this weekend. Everything in the store is 20% off, Lamar.
Wow. I might need to go down there. Or, as we well know, online.
That's what I was just going to say. Even if you're staying in Gainesville, you can go to allcanes.com. They'll give you the same 20% off. They've got the new Sean Taylor jersey. I might as well show that again.
That's tight, bro. That's
you
tight.
Can get that 20% off. They've got all the Dime Life stuff, the hats, the shorts, T-shirts, all of that stuff.
Don't forget about the turnover chains.
They got the turnover chain merchandise. So if you want to shop for the Hurricane fan in your family, your friends, get on over to All Canes. the next few days. Their store hours are 9 to 6 on Friday, 10 to 5 on Saturday, Sunday 11 to 4, and Cyber Monday they're open from 10 to 6. Go in there, see Harry. You tell him that LT sent you, and he might give you a little gift or something. Maybe
he might give you something. He might give you, because it's like a dad to me. You know what I'm saying? That's my guy, man. I've known that dude so long, man. It's like I know his son, I know his kid, I know. Man.
You and everybody else, though. He knows everybody, though. That's the beauty of Harry. He knows everybody.
I try to make myself special, but I ain't special. My God.
So all Canes, your headquarters for all your holiday shopping, and they really have everything that you could ever want for a Hurricane fan. We strongly encourage you to go there or shop on allcanes.com.
Check it out.
And LT, we would be remiss if we didn't, talk a little bit about our main man Ryan Collins, right?
No doubt, the quarterback. My God, let me get myself centered there. Oh, hey.
There it is, man. Advanced Financial and Insurance.
There he is. My guy, Ryan Collins. I love doing this little promo right here. It sounds professional. Are you protected from the unexpected loss to your home due to Mother Nature, like a hurricane, or to your auto due to like human nature of a car accident? Let Advanced Insurance Financial Agency help you determine how much and what type of coverage is right for you. Give them a call at 954-436-4027. That's 954-436-4027, or visit the website advancedagent.net for your free personal insurance review so you can ease your worries and relax your mind. Well spoken, Ryan Collins. Well spoken, my friend.
And if you want to call Ryan, the number's at the bottom of your screen, 954-436-4027. And he'll take care of you on any of your insurance needs. Lamar, it's so great to have these like former Canes that are involved in business and getting into different things. And we saw, Dan Sileo with the successful radio shows, and he's been able to have I think he's a 25-year career in broadcasting. And so many of the former guys, Bruce knows a lot of them, and we've had them on CaneSport Live and different shows. And they all have so many different stories to tell about the success that they're having out there in real life. And it's great to see so many of the guys that you played with and just alumni in general doing so well out there in the real world.
Yeah,
but
guys like Steven, who's going to retire from the police force. He's been a police officer in New York and Brooklyn. And when he got to Manhattan, he was more on the donut route than he was when he was in Brooklyn. It was a little tougher.
He's always been on the donut route.
He's
Greedy Steve. He's Greedy Steve. But let me tell you something. This guy that we're going to have on soon, man, what a success story. Like the New York Giants, their ownership, they wanted him in the building, and he's been in the building ever since he retired from the game, man. And this guy wasn't a first-round pick, wasn't a second-round pick, wasn't a third-round pick. I think he went in the 7th round, man. And he played with us. I don't want to cuss because I know my parents might be listening, but he played with a fucking chip on his shoulder every game. And I enjoyed watching him play. I didn't want him to play against me, but I enjoyed watching him play because I knew the guy, man. This Jesse Armstead guy, man. It's been a match made in heaven for him being up in New York. And, I know he has like a car dealership. And, he's just become, he's just part of the business up there. Most people go to New York to become famous and get clout. They go to LA to become movie stars and get clout. Here's the true story of how it happens. I've talked to other teammates that have hung out with him in New York. They said you wouldn't believe how many people know this guy, man. Everywhere he goes, and he ain't played in years.
Jesse Armstead, oh my God. I mean, so the success of these guys, man, I love hearing the stories. I love being around these guys, and Jesse being part of that front office there in.
He's in New Jersey. He's in New Jersey.
York,
He's in New Jersey. He ain't New
I don't
York.
know. Hey, first of all, I don't know no better. I'm a Florida guy. I don't know New Jersey, New York.
New Jersey, New York.
He's in
Aren't they
East
the
Rutherford.
That shit is all
Aren't
the
they the
same.
same?
It could be Connecticut. All I give a damn. I'm from Florida, dog. I can tell you the difference between Alachua County and Dade County. I can tell you that.
But he's just a great. We had him on CaneSport Live. He was great. He's just a great guy. Everybody loves him.
He flew in the other night. Bruce, you weren't there, but Crowded had a teamed with a bunch of the former players, and they had a roundtable session in Miami Lakes last week. Jesse Armstead flew in
New
York or New Jersey, one or the other. Probably flew out of New York. I'm guessing he flew out of New York.
He flew out of Newark.
Connecticut.
Yeah.
But
I mean, he
was there.
He flew in for the event to be with his former teammate, Alumni, and just talk about the program. And Lamar, the first part of that is on the Crowded app now. So people that want to watch it, they can go get the Crowded app. Lamar's part of the Crowded team, and go get the app and watch the video. I think it was about 45. No, I think it was like 30 minutes long. Part 1, and they'll be releasing part 2 here shortly. And hear what all the former players were saying and the message they were giving. And Lamar, it was tough love, man. I mean, it was tough love. Not surprising. I mean, we listen to Dan Sileo and we get a feel for, kind of how people feel. But I think tough love would be the right way to describe that get together during the week.
One thing, as we talked about this, it wasn't going to be a Bass Manny show or a Bass Manny outing. But we wanted to talk about how we could help, how we could lend our experiences to be able to help the program in any way, shape, or form. Because somehow, some way, a disconnect has happened over the years, but we have felt like we're not able to help the program. And I don't know when it started. I know, a lot of guys like to go back to the sideline thing, but that's not really helping except on game day. But I think what we were trying to say is, man, we want to help. We want to help. We want to be involved. That's not just one day of the year, the Paradise Camp, which is a great thing, by the way. But we want to be more involved and be able to come and speak to these guys and, give them pep talks or tell them about real life situations and just be able, because these guys, obviously we know this, they have no clue what's after college. They have no clue. And we've experienced it, whether good and bad, and we just want to be that mouthpiece that lets them know, and hopefully we get their ear, so they already know what could happen. What could happen, if good or bad. And
I don't know if he's in New York or Jersey, but there he is, live and in person, the man himself, Jesse Armstead. And,
hey, Jess, welcome back, man. How you been?
How you doing?
Good.
You look comfortable.
Well, look, he's got a leather chair. We're sitting here like bums. He's got a leather chair. Look at him.
Look at that, man. I got to recline too, man. All right.
Superman. That's what we called him when he came in as a freshman.
Yeah, Superman.
And he had it on his jacket. He had it on his sweatshirt. He had it all over the damn place. So we knew this guy was going to perform, and he let us know that, hey, man, I'm going to live up to the billing. I don't care where you don't think I'm from or where I'm from. I'm that guy. And I think a lot of that, as Jesse probably will allude to, comes from playing at Dallas Carter around all those great players before he got to University of Miami.
That's a start. Jess, tell us about that. You got it in high school.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate to play in one of the top high schools in the country. Not by intention, but so happy it was just right in my backyard. And played with a lot of great athletes. And then I had the opportunity to go to another school that had other athletes, just like Carter High School. I just looked at University of Miami being a bigger Carter High School when I got there.
Yeah, you had number one, so you had a target on your back. I'm number one, and I'm going to be the greatest. And that's a great thing. But we just had Dan Sileo on, and we've had you on before. Last week we had Darren Smith was here, and Michael was here. So now you're the third part of the triangle. But the camaraderie, but not only competitive nature amongst yourself, which is what Michael was talking about, watching film, getting ready, being prepared. I don't know how come what's happening now with this program the last 8, 10, 12, 15 years that doesn't seem to exist. It's like almost like every man for himself. You want to talk about your teammates and the way you rallied around each other and what you're seeing now from these kids?
Well, the good part about it, when we came through, everybody had each other accounted. We looked at each other and we depended on each other. And we worked out all the time together. We competed day in and day out against each other. So it really wasn't just the linebackers, working out with each other. We'll go compete with the receivers to the running backs and vice versa. So I think, in today's society, it's just getting harder and harder. So many different things that can pull the kids away. And, it's, just lucky to try to keep them on track best you can, So the coaching staff, that's why you want to lean on a lot of people to try to help you.
Oh, I wanted to say
the good part about University of Miami. That's me.
Hey, so Jess, we talked a little bit about this the other night, and we just had Dan Sileo on, and I was talking about something similar. But when I remember Jesse Armstead, you did so many things over several years, obviously, in your career. But I flash back to your true freshman season. You came in, you were the number one recruit in the country. Everybody's watching you, and they put you on the kickoff team. And Miami kicked off in that game. And I remember you running down that kickoff. And I remember thinking, I have never seen, in my time at the University of Miami, a player run down a kickoff with the purpose that you did that day. And that was your coming out as a Miami Hurricane. Do you remember that at all?
Yeah, I remember. Well, I remember this excitement to be able to play on that field. We were down in Tallahassee. And it was just an honor to be out there with other guys that was elite, and you just wanted to show them that you well deserve a spot on that team.
Yeah, Jess, we talked last week with Darren and Mike about the linebacker position, which is a big weakness on this year's and the last couple of years, Miami's defense. Why can't Miami get these kids? There's a million linebackers with speed like you, and yet Miami's struggling and struggling and struggling. What do you think they're missing here? They're not targeting these kids early enough?
Yeah, well, like I was saying earlier, you can start targeting kids. You got to start understanding the, little league to junior high school, and by the time they get in high school, you should already know the kids. You should have an advantage on everybody because you got a jump start. And there's a lot of great athletes down in Florida and all over the country, so there's no excuse. Other teams have them, so you should be able to go out and find them also.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, because there's the Optimist League, there's a little Pee-wee leagues, there's all these leagues that you watch these kids develop. They know when they're 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, they know how good these kids are going to be. And they're bigger kids, their parents are big, where you've got some of you guys, their children. I mean, I remember seeing James Stewart's kids play and things like that. But they're not coming to Miami. Not anymore. It's just like there's something missing in that scouting department that we're not getting what we should be getting, the kids from down here. And you guys built that legacy. You're not even from here. You're part of the legacy.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I mean, I tell you one thing. You get baptized in when you get down to Miami at the university. So you always want the university to do well, but that's go from the whole university, the staff. They need to start getting back into community. Start reaching out to former players who's in the community, can tell you about that player, who can talk to the high school coach deeper than you can talk to him. So it's a lot of ways, and they got to be willing to reach out and have some kind of form of communication with the former players to be able to tell them about those young guys.
Hey, Jess, one of our viewers, Bergie, says you look like you haven't aged a bit, but he thinks Lamar looks like a grandpa over there. What do you?
No, Lamar good. We overworked him in Miami a lot. Yeah. No, I'm just, you know what, just standing around the young guys, and they always busting your chops. I'm with the Giants, so I just try to keep up with them best I can.
Hey, one thing I want to talk about, Jesse, I'm glad you segued this into the Giants. Dog, you win the seventh round, right? Like you were pissed.
I wish I would have went 7th round.
I think he went the 8th.
I went in the 8th round.
He's in the 8th round.
First of all, as teammates of yours, we couldn't believe that. Okay? But let me tell you something. I enjoy watching you play because you play with so much, you play with anger, passion, and the games I really enjoy watching you play against, I love watching you play against the Cowboys. Because dog, you was jumping over people, you was I mean, if I'm not mistaken, and I want to make sure I got this story right, Jesse. They told you that they were going to draft you. Am I wrong in saying that? Did they say they were going to draft you and they didn't, and you said, okay?
No, you are absolutely right. Jimmy Johnson told me if I'm around. Yeah, Jimmy told me if I'm around in the 6th round, and he doubted if I would be around in the 6th round. But if I'm around in the 6th round, he would get me. And the 6th, I wasn't disappointed in the draft. I was disappointed when the 6th round came, and Dallas Cowboys got a linebacker. I think his name was Barry Minter.
Barry Minter.
And that's when I had enough right there. Yeah. And I just made myself a list of 34 linebackers got drafted in front of me, and I just said I won't surpass all of them.
Hey, and Jesse, the number 98.
And I'm still angry today about that.
The number 98 for a linebacker. Is there a story behind them giving you the number 98? Did they not think that you were going to be that guy that you developed into, or that you already were, but they didn't know?
Well, about the number 98, they was already waiting to take the jersey back and send me out the door. You know, when I got there, I had a lot of great linebackers. I had Lawrence Taylor, Pepper Johnson. Mm-hmm. We drafted 2 other linebackers before me. So we were loaded at linebacker. Mike Brooks, who came out of Denver, was all-pro linebacker. Carton Bailey, that came off the 4 Super Bowl teams in Buffalo Bills. So we were loaded with like 14 linebackers, and they're only on keep 6. And the 6 I just named was the ones that they just paid all the money to. So you know they won't make the team. But I was very fortunate to go back to what you just told me earlier on the special team. They gave me an opportunity on special team, and I just went down there with vengeance, you know what I mean? And I still have the freaking anger in my heart about everything, how it went down, and that's how I put a chip on my shoulder.
You know, Jesse, you have, of all the antics that they showed in a 30 for 30 and the second one, of all the antics that of all the former players did, yours is my favorite. You know which one that was? The one where you went like this over the guy. You did the chopping thing in here. You did that. That was one of the filthiest ones I've ever seen, but that was great, man. What game was that? Do you remember that?
Cal. I'll tell you what it was.
Cal, right, Cal. At Cal, right.
No,
I remember that, man. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That whole game was loaded with
that. Lamar taking his helmet off every play. So.
Is that the one that Randall did to George Jefferson?
We had a great time in the university.
That was some game, man.
Randall did that in California.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. He did George Jefferson.
He did George Jefferson in that game too.
He did. But you getting the sack dance, and we had another name for it, but I won't mention it on air. So
it was pretty dirty. It was vulgar.
Hey, let me tell you my number one.
This is bad, but that was worse.
Hey, Jesse, let me tell you my number one story. And so I wore number one in high school. Okay. When I got to the University of Miami, it was by a kicker had it. Jimmy Johnson said, "You can have that number, but you're taking it from a senior. There's gonna be a lot of repercussions." I said, "Fuck, I don't want that shit." You got to sit the next year. I said, "Oh, this motherfucker here," and I said, it took me like 2 weeks to say, "Oh shit, he deserved that motherfucker." I said, "Shit."
Yeah, but he was the number one recruit in the country.
That's what I mean. I said,
"Yeah,
shit." I was a little salty at first, and I said, "Wait a minute. He's a hell of a player. He's a smooth talker, and he drives a Mustang. Shit, with Dayton's on it." That's a bad dude right there. That's a bad dude. And he never shied away from he's the number one guy. He never shied away from. There's some kids, and we see that shit nowadays. Those guys, they come in, they're 5 stars, as they say. They don't pan out because there's competition. Jesse never shied away from competition. He never, and actually he wanted more competition. That was the weird. To me, I was like, damn, bro. Dog, I'm on your team, bro. I'm on your team. I'm not against you.
Why? Was he one of the ones that smacked you when you ran those crossing routes?
Yes.
He was one too, huh?
Yes.
Hey, Jesse, talk to us a little bit about the event last week. I told everybody that you flew in for that, the crowded event in Miami Lakes where all the former players came to get together and talk about the program. What did you take away from that? You still with us?
Yeah,
Did we lose you?
You might have lost for a second.
Well, first off, I think it was some way the guys reaching out to the University of Miami. Yes. Hello?
Yeah, we got you. Go ahead. Yeah, you're on a little delay, but it's all right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
We hear you, Jess.
I think it was the way that the guys were reaching out to the university. It was a good way to reach out to them because the guys could be very nasty and just go in the media and say bad things and do. So I think it was real good because the guys were reaching out to the university and were speaking, saying that what can we do to help the universities? It wasn't like no one tore the program up and anything negative. We looking to help program. They reach back out to us.
I think we're losing him, Lamar.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, let me ask you this.
Connect.
Let me ask you this, J.A. When you and K-Dub, can you hear me?
His internet's going in and out on him, I think.
Probably have to reboot him. Let's see.
Was it Lamar? Wasn't there a story at that Cotton Bowl? You guys had a
Is it
fight
me?
amongst you. Okay, he's back in. Good.
You back?
Back,
Yeah.
Jess.
Yeah. J.A. Can you hear us?
Hey, Jess, you might need to reboot your internet.
Come back on. We'll be here. Come back on.
Yeah, come back. Come back on. We'll be here. Yeah, when we'll bring you back in.
So yeah, that story that you were about to tell. So
yeah, I heard it was Texas guys.
My roommate was Kevin Williams on the road.
I heard it. I know.
Okay. So Mark Caesar, of course, stands up and says, F this Texas shit, and I can't stand these, and he is going off, and I'm saying to myself, I mean, he's going off, and Jesse, I mean, he basically had, I mean, he's getting emotional about it, and K-Dub is getting, Kevin Williams getting emotional about it. I mean, these Texas guys, I mean, they're you know, this is their state. They're getting very emotional about this. You talking about their state. I remember saying to K-Dub, because he had some guys that came to the room that let's see, how do I put it? Yeah, you know what I'm about to say. They were
I know.
They were those guys, and I got to meet them, but they also were waiting at the room for us when we got back. And I knew K-Dub was going to go back and say, hey, man, this is what they were saying. So I had to make sure K-Dub and Jesse understood, hey, man, I'm about to text y'all, dog. I'm down with y'all, bro. I'm down with y'all. Hey, man, I like you here, man. Even though it's cold, I like it here. But it was some that was one of the heart to hearts, man.
Yeah, and it was I heard there was chairs thrown and stuff like that. It was pretty ugly.
Yeah,
but then you guys decided, even Carlos Huerta of all people said that we decided that we're going to just kick some effing ass and get the F out of Texas. That's what that was the end line of the whole thing, right?
Hey, J.A., we were talking about the Cotton Bowl when we had the little team meeting and and some guys said some things about Texas, and y'all were not with that shit, boy. I said, oh Lord,
Caesar.
And by the way, Jay, you know you my guy. You took me over to Dallas Carter. Thumbs up for that, brother. Thumbs up for that.
No, we weren't with that. No, they did say. Hey, some of the guys said some bad things about Texas, so hey, we were like, hey man, we can't let that happen. Now we down with Florida, we down with Miami, but you can't be saying F everybody in Texas. You know what I mean? We got family and friends there now. So, but we went down.
But you
there.
took it out on Texas.
The whooping we would put on Texas.
Oh yeah.
We had De'Aaron King on the show a few weeks ago, and he's from Texas, as I'm sure you know. And he comes on the show here, and he laid down the gauntlet. He said Texas players are better than Florida players, and wasn't shy about expressing it. What do you think about that? Texas football in relation to Florida football?
Well, it just depends on how you all look at it. When you talk about the people that deal with the Texas football, there's nobody on match Texas because we have stadiums called $65 million. Throughout, it's not like one; it's like 4 different stadiums, and it's big time football there. It's been known for that. But Florida have good athletes, man. They have the best athletes you'll find them. So you look at Florida, you look at Texas, you look at California. I'll put Texas and Florida 1 and 2, and California coming up the very end.
And with the Giants, you still see that pattern holding in the National Football League, right?
I hate my phone messing up, man.
We hear you.
We hear you.
We hear you, Jess.
You see the same pattern in the NFL, right? With the Giants.
No,
Oh, absolutely. You see the same pattern. You see the same kind of kids from the same area. Texas, Florida.
Not me, but it's calamari chicken wings. You'll be all right.
All right, Jess. Well, your connection is going in and out. So Lamar, did you have anything else?
Well, hopefully I can get back on here another time.
Another day.
Have better connection.
We'll get you on again, J.A., man. We appreciate your time, man. And I know you guys fired that guy from Dallas.
No problem at all.
Jason Garrett.
Yeah, no, you guys fired Jason Garrett today, but I know you had to escort him probably out the building. So we love you, brother, and we'll talk to you soon, dog.
Great seeing you, Jess.
Take care, Jess.
Jesse Armstead. I don't know what was up with his internet. That internet was working about as bad as I've seen internet work in a while, Lamar. It was like on delay, and then it wasn't working, and poor Jess.
I think Dennis had the same problem, didn't he? Dennis had the same problem a few weeks ago. Dennis was going in and out.
Yeah, but Coach E was probably at the bar, man. I love Coach E, but he probably was at the bar. He was like, "Hey, man, it doesn't matter.
You're at a bar.
I'm still gonna get my drinks."
All right, Lamar. So let's get back to receiver talk.
Right,
we were talking a little bit about Harley, and this week we talked to Rhett Lashley, and I asked him point blank. I said, Rhett, look, you got this guy Harley who's about to break a record. He needs 5 more catches. Is it safe to say that you're going to feed him some footballs at Duke on Saturday? And I wanted to play what he said. Mike Harley, as I'm sure you know, is 5 catches away from the career reception record at Miami. And when you look at all of the great receivers that have played in the program, it's kind of remarkable. But I know you've only worked with him for 2 years. To us, he was a kid that from the minute he stepped on campus, you saw his work ethic. You saw how he didn't take practices off, how serious he was about his game. Now that you have worked with him for 2 years, can you just talk a little bit about your Mike Harley experience? And also, will you be feeding him the ball on Saturday?
I'm really proud of Mike, to your point. Mike's really kind of, we talk a lot about how De'Aaron came in and really did a lot of things culturally and just from a leadership standpoint for us, and he did. And Mike's one of those guys, I think, in the receiver room who really last year and this year since I've been here is kind of taken on that leadership role in that room, both holding himself and the older guys accountable, but also helping younger guys. And what he's done, just to your point, his work ethic is what stands out to me. I mean, you got a guy who, especially in a year like this where a lot of our older guys, they were getting hurt, it just wasn't going right. And he came to work every day. When Tyler became our guy, he was the first one to go and just basically say, let's go. I got you. And the way he practiced and the way he almost raised his level to try to help out Tyler, to me, was impressive. And I think the other thing about Mike is just his unselfishness. I mean, got a guy last year caught 57 balls. I think between him and X and Brashard, his position this year's caught 70 plus balls. I'm not exactly sure the number, 60, 70, 75, but because Xavier's a really good player and Brashard's a good player, and, it allows Mike to stay fresher throughout the game. He's been unselfish. He's in the 40s in touches, still a pretty good year, but some guys could say, well, if I had all the snaps, I'd have 70, 80 catches, and he's just about winning. He's about the team. He hasn't made it about him. And to me, his impact over the last 2 years since I've been here are going to be felt far more than when he breaks that record or really even his legacy. It's what, like, Romello Brinson and Keyshawn Smith, another one he's really taken under his wing, and Xavier Restrepo and Rashard Smith and Jacoby George, what those guys are able to do because they saw how it should be done. And in a year or two, they're going to be doing that for other people. But just really his example and just how he's carried himself, to me, is the biggest thing. And I think that legacy will live on. Yes, I'm fully aware of how many catches he needs. And that's an important goal for our offensive unit, for Mike and for us as a unit. So we're very aware of what he and Rambo need. And, winning's the ultimate goal, but we're on it.
We're on it, Lamar.
The first play from scrimmage is going to Harley on a slant.
Hey, first of all, let's give kudos to the guy that could be the next head coach at SMU. Way to put on a
yeah.
I mean, he sounds good, man. I like that guy, man. He said he got the head coaching pedigree.
He presents well, doesn't he? Yeah.
Yes.
Good job.
Yeah.
And the fact that he knows what's going to be put on his resume, the fact that he left with 2 guys that broke some records at the University of Miami, and he can be able to take that in the recruiting world. When those assistant coaches go out and they're recruiting, they say, hey, man, Rhett Lashley, he had 2 guys. One broke the career reception leading at the University of Miami. The other guy broke the single season reception leader and looks like yards too.
And Van Dyke.
Yeah, and Van Dyke, who's going to hopefully Van Dyke does not leave us
to go to SMU.
I'm just saying if he gets the job. We don't know. We don't know if he gets the job. We don't know that. But man, that's what we brought him here. I think the thinking was you bring Rhett Lashley in, he gives you 2 years, and he goes on to be a head coach. He was the hot guy, and it didn't start out that way this year, but he got it together, and he's now back on that list of guys that these programs, obviously because he was at SMU, he could be the guy.
Do you think that Van Dyke's going to be preseason, like All-American, or maybe in the top 10 for Heisman? Because he's got so much hype in the last couple of weeks. And if he lights it up for 300 more yards against Duke and does it in a bowl game, that would be like 6 or 7 games in a row, Gary. I think he could very well be up there in a preseason Heisman. He's that good.
There hasn't been a quarterback like this guy is putting up numbers like this in, I think, 15 years.
Yeah.
At Miami. Just incredible. But the way these receivers are playing is a big part of it. There's no doubt about it. I mean, Harley's been consistent for a couple of years now. Rambo, from the second that Van Dyke took over as quarterback, Lamar, he's like shot up like a rocket ship. And I think that a quarterback that can get the ball down the field the way Van Dyke can has just meant the world to Rambo.
Well, I can tell you this. It's important to have a relationship with your quarterback. And it sounds like these guys actually like each other. And that's so important, man. You don't want to be a receiver that your quarterback doesn't like. You don't want to be a guy that you don't like your quarterback. You have to develop relationships. And you hear how Lashley said that Mike Harley reached out to this young kid, TBD. And I'm sure Rambo, through everything he got here, he said, hey, I'm gonna go with the guys that, because you can't always. Here's the crazy part. At some point, you need that extra work. And sometimes you go to the guy that's ladder, you give that extra work, but you're also getting him better. You feel like you saying, okay, that guy's getting me better, but you're really getting him better too. And Gary, we talked about this before we went on the show. The fact that the guy who threw me my record at the time, I don't even know his name, but he wasn't Gino Torres. He was Costa Verde, and I did some work with him, but you do work with those other guys because those are the guys. Dino got to go do interviews. He can't stay out all the time, so you get these work in with these guys, and you become very acquainted with them, and things happen. So I'm pretty sure it wasn't meant to be because remember, you had Derek, you had the other guy. I don't even know his name now.
But Lamar, see now TVD was playing on the second team unit with some of the young kids because at the beginning of this season we had Pope and Wiggins who were lining up with the first team, so they may have a better relationship with Van Dyke than those other guys did. That's maybe that's why they're timing. And the other thing is, if you look at Smith, you look at Harley and you look at Rambo, those three guys are making catches in a crowd. They're making catches jumping for balls. They're positioning their bodies to get the balls, jump balls. You didn't see the other guys do it, and they were here for 4 years. So, I mean, talk about that, Lamar. These guys know how to play receiver. Look at the catch that Brinson made a few weeks ago. Wow.
I'm not going to diss those guys, but I can tell you this.
I'm not dissing them. I'm just stating a fact. It's a fact.
These other guys, man, they're making a lot of plays, man. That's all I can say.
Yeah, they're making a lot of plays.
They're making a lot of plays. And you know what? Those plays count.
Yeah, and the other thing is Van Dyke throws the ball. Even if Rambo's covered, he'll still throw on the ball because he expects him to get it. Right?
Give him a chance.
That's
all
he'll do it.
Lamar, you coached a first-round wide receiver, Devontae Parker, when you were at Louisville. Rambo's got a little bit of a similar look. He's a bigger receiver, maybe not quite as thick as Devontae at this point, but still tall. Maybe a lot in the Lamar Thomas mold a little bit too. You know, what kind of no? When you let me ask you. Let me put it this way: when you watch him play, what do you see in terms of the next level?
I like the fact he's aggressive. He's had some points where, and I'm saying some kudos to Rob like that. He's a great receiver coach, man. Him and I text back and forth all the time. Man, you know when you get an interview and you get a little heartbroken or whatever, and you're like, it's just like anything else. Who is the guy that took your girlfriend? You want to know, is this guy really that fucking good looking? God damn, I thought I was good looking. But let me tell you something, man. That Rob Likens, man, he is a great dude, man. And he does a great job on those kids, man. He is awesome. And we talk all the time. This guy, and Rambo, he's aggressive, man. He's going for the ball. He's trying to make things happen. And it's almost like he's willing his way into being a high drive pick because he's performing that way because it's like and we had him on the show and he talks about I'm coming out.
Yeah,
that takes a lot of balls, man. That takes a lot of balls to say something like that early in the season,
especially to you.
And let me tell you something. I sent a text to a particular coach and said, "Hey, I don't know if you know, but this guy said he's coming out." And they said, "Oh, we know." I mean, they know that his mindset, and that's the way he's probably carrying himself in the building. That, hey, man, this year is all I'm gonna give it everything I got, all I got, and I'm gonna make things happen. So he's playing his ass off.
But he had not such a great year last year at Oklahoma.
No,
and he comes here, and De'Ara King gets hurt. He may have been thinking, "Oh my God, did I screw up?" But look what happened. Now he's the beneficiary of how great Van Dyke is, and vice versa. They're working really well together, and they're a dangerous combination. You know, you got to go to them. They've thrown them 8, 10, or 12 times a game, which is really good.
I was really happy to see them going deep early and them connecting because that sets the tempo. Because we've talked about how slow we've started.
Yeah,
because we've started very slow, but they made that connection early. I think it opened up a lot of different things for them in that game, especially at the tight end.
Right.
So Lamar, he can come back next year if he wants.
Who can?
Rambo. If he wanted to come back, he can come back. I don't think he will. Should he go right now?
Well, he has momentum. Yeah, why not? I mean, you've already put it out there. It's hard to come back from that point. I mean,
he's put enough faith out there, right?
This is not basketball where
right
guys consider coming out, they go work out, they go, I fucking suck, I'm coming back in. This is football, and you put it out there. And the good thing about this kid is he's backed that up. Remember, that was not late in the season. That was early in the season.
Yeah, that was like 6-7 weeks ago.
Yeah, when he said, "I'm coming out. This is it for me." I'm saying, shit. And I've been watching him ever since. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I can see why you said that.
He caught one in the end zone. What was it, last week or 2 weeks ago, where the guy was draped all over him? I don't know how he even saw the ball. and he still winds up on the ground and he catches it. It was an unbelievable catch. I mean, his concentration level has picked up because he had a lot of drops last year. He had a couple this year too, but he's really improved himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has. And I see him blocking a lot. He's out there blocking a lot.
He's having fun. It looks like he's having fun out there.
Yes, he is. And he taunts the people too after he makes the catch. He turns around and he gives it right back into him. Right, Garrett?
He would have been a great Hurricane if he had just come as a dang freshman. If he hadn't been a transfer. I mean, it would have been great to watch his career here over a 3-4 year period of time.
What do you got? Wings?
No, this is calamari right here.
Oh, calamari.
Oh, wow.
I just want to give Bo Campers a shout out for this calamari right here.
It's good.
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
Bo Campers in Plantation.
Hold on, Plantation.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, man.
I'm calling your family right now. I'll let them know.
Mom and Dad said I can't eat them, so I'm trying to sneak these calamari in my every now and then. Watch it.
Didn't see a thing. Didn't see a thing.
All right, let's shift gears to a topic that's on the minds of everybody.
Wow.
Who's going to be the AD? What's going to happen when the AD is named? Lamar, we know some of the candidates that have been talked about that I think are potentially real candidates. Dan Radakovich, the AD at Clemson, is a potential candidate, I think. Tom Jurich.
Wait.
Yes, sir.
Why would that guy leave Clemson? What's what I don't understand.
Been there 8 years. He's been there 8 years. Probably has done everything he can do there. He's raised a few $100 million. He's rebuilt the facilities. They've won national titles in football. A new challenge, maybe. I mean, listen, he doesn't need to leave Clemson. He could stay there for the rest of his career. For sure. Yeah.
For sure.
But I'm talking about he's a guy that they can potentially target, who I think if they package the opportunity properly might come. And another one that's being mentioned a lot is a guy that you know very well, Tom Jurich. He was the athletic director at Louisville when you were at Louisville. Alonzo Highsmith's been mentioned. Gino Toretta's been mentioned. Not sure how much traction they are or aren't getting. But this thing is in the hands of a search firm now, Lamar. And I think what's going to happen is over the next week, they're going to narrow it down to a few candidates, and then there's going to be interviews. And then the president and his select circle of advisors are going to have to sit down and make a decision on who the next athletic director is at Miami. What do you think they should be looking for?
Well, first and foremost, guys like Gino and Alonzo, but they throw their name in the hat. I think it's only right to give them an opportunity to interview. That's just my personal opinion. You can kill me online later. I'm just, hey man, I just feel like those guys deserve an opportunity to interview and hear what they have to say. And, because they've been in the building. A lot of those people, you say Katakovis or Matakovis or whatever the hell his name is. He ain't never been in the building.
He might be the best athletic director in the country. Come on, man. But you can't be butchering his name.
He ain't in Miami right now. Guy. Yeah, but he not there. He wasn't there when I was there. So whatever his name is.
Radakovich.
Radakovich. I'm sorry, Radakovich. But these guys have been in the building, man. They know they know what it's like to have success in that building. So they deserve an interview. And I would hate if this search goes to anybody else, which it could be. Give those guys their due. Give them an interview. Let them feel good about, at least, giving the opportunity to speak their language. So that's all I really care about.
Gary, I'm going to ask you, do you really believe, from what you've been hearing in your heart of hearts, that the AD will have the authority to do what you think or they think they should do? Or because you've been telling everybody the last 24 to 48 hours about all the infighting with the BOTs.
I wouldn't call it infighting. Infighting might be
but there's different factions.
There's different, yes. There's
so do you think if the wrong guy gets this, he may be just a puppet, which is what everybody from the outside, like me, is looking at saying, "Oh crap, they're going to screw this up too. It's going to be a puppet."
You know, Bruce.
I'm being honest.
Everything in Miami is political. It's a political city, and you've got a board of trustees that has 60-something people on it. There is no chance that you're getting a consensus. What I think is going to happen is that those guys are going to be, I don't want to say sidelined. I mean, that's a brutal thing to say. I think the president's office is going to take this thing over. I really do. And they have to, because how else do you manage when you have diverse opinions? And there are people that want to see Manny come back. There are people that want Mario. Lamar, he's been hearing a lot of the same things I've been hearing. He'll confirm a lot of this. There's people that want Mario. And then all you're hearing more than even Mario or Manny,
Lane Kiffin.
You're hearing the name Lane Kiffin, which means that Jimmy Sexton, the super agent that controls coaching hires in this country, is freaking pounding Lane Kiffin to Miami. All right, so Lamar, here's my first question. Why would Jimmy Sexton be pounding Lane Kiffin to Miami? Is it because Lane Kiffin wants this job, or is it because Lane Kiffin wants to get Ole Miss to offer him more money?
Could be both.
I think it's a combination of both. One of the regrets I have in my whole coaching career is not having Jimmy Sexton as my agent. Because, man, he makes it happen.
He really does.
I mean, I turned him down as a player, and he probably still holding that shit against me. But let me tell you, man, because you think about what happened with Taggart. Taggart was fired from this job, or he left this job to come to FSU, got another job at FAU. I mean, and everything kind of shift. One guy went to Texas A&M. I mean, this guy Jimmy Sexton, man, you have that super agent, that power agent. He makes things happen. This whole thing is very interesting. This whole coaching dynamic. A lot of times, it's not even the best guy that gets the job. It's the guy that has connections. And then you look at his staff sometimes. And this is what people don't understand. If you have that super agent, he already has your staff already made out for you.
Right. They do.
And see, people don't understand that. So you say, oh, why didn't he hire a Roland Smith? Well, the super agent already had a DB coach for him. That's on the line to be a defensive coordinator. That's on the line to be a head coach who's going to get him money at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So people don't really understand this coaching dynamic. This is some underground stuff that's going on, or could be going on. It's just my opinion, but people don't understand this, man. It goes a lot deeper than just hiring a guy on point.
But I would think that Lane Kiffin, after this year, has got enough bullets in the chamber to get more money from Mississippi, regardless of the Miami job, because Sexton's that good. He'll say, "Listen, this is what we want. This is what Michigan State just paid him, and this is what Penn State just paid this guy. This is what we want. If not,
we know Lane Kiffin wants the job. We know he wants
it. I think sure he does.
He's been bonding with Sapp and the big time with Luke, Uncle Luke.
Yep.
He has been laying the groundwork to get noticed at Miami.
He's not winning anything at Mississippi in the SEC, but if he comes here, he could light it up.
However, I don't see where he fits.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as hard as Jimmy Sexton's working, and Lamar, I got a call today from somebody in the athletic department who was telling me that the word around the building was that he was interviewing for the job on Friday. Well, that's not possible. They don't even who's going to interview him. But this is the degree that these rumors are being spread around, and I'm assuming they're coming from the office of Jimmy Sexton. And it's just baffling to me. I mean, he either really, really, really wants this job badly, or he's just trying to keep his name out there.
Get a bonus from Mississippi State. Ole Miss. But I can tell you this. Right now, Manny's still our coach, and he has somehow turned this thing around. Got these kids hyped up to play. They're not quitting. You think about it, they could have quit after Florida State. That was a big emotional loss for them. They had a roller coaster. They start off with 2 interceptions, 17-0, come back, take the lead, lose the ball game. You tell me that if that locker room's not strong and that coach is not strong and he's not doing his job, they're not going to go out in the next game against VTech and win the ball game. That's the way these kids operate. So again, kudos to those teammates, those leaders in the locker room. Kudos to that staff, and kudos to Manny for riding the ship, which could have been bad for everybody in that building if they lose that game. Now, of course, we have Duke coming up, and you should win that game going away. You should win that game going away.
People don't want to hear what you just said. I wrote a story this week, Lamar, as you know, and it basically said that the new AD was going to make the decision, and there was a group within the university that wanted to see Manny come back. I got lit up for being the messenger on that story. I mean, people don't want to hear it, and we put a poll out on Twitter this morning. The answer was very simple. Who do you want to be the coach at Miami in 2022? Manny Diaz, Mario Cristobal, Lane Kiffin. 858 people voted. 67%, Lamar, said Mario Cristobal. 22% said Lane Kiffin. 10% said Manny Diaz.
Well, I'll tell you this. If Manny Diaz continues to win games, fuck all them guys. That's the bottom line. He's winning games right now, and I know that at 2-4, everybody jumped on that bandwagon, but he has somehow resurrected this team, and it is what it is, man.
But let me ask you something, Lamar. You know one of the candidates, one of the guys that's rumored to be a potential candidate. You worked with him at Louisville. He was one of the highest-powered athletic directors in America. His name was Tom Jurich. If Tom Jurich gets this job, Lamar, and he looks at this situation and he sees that 90% of the fans don't want the coach back, and he hears all this outcry and he sees what's been going on here, does he walk in the building and make a change?
No, you can't do that. You really can't. Whether it's Gino, whether it's Alonzo, whether it's Tom Jurich, you have to give this. If this guy wins out, let's say Manny wins out, okay, this Duke game, he wins the bowl game. You gotta let it roll over. That's just the way it is. You can't come into the building and Bruce, I see your nose flaring up. You can't come into the building just getting rid of motherfuckers. You can't do that.
Really?
Dog.
Maybe he already has his mind made up. Maybe he knows what's going on, even from wherever he's living now. And he realizes what a shit show this is.
And we don't know that he's going to get the job.
Well, we don't know that. But I just can't believe that somebody's got their head buried in the sand. I don't care if you're an athletic director or a former one, you have to know what's going on here. It's not pretty.
Could you imagine your first day on the job saying you're fired?
Yep, in a heartbeat.
I've never seen that before.
No, you can't do that, bro.
But there is, Lamar, as you know, also a large group that are involved with the university that do want to see change. They have a targeted preferred candidate in Mario Cristobal, and they are going to want to see whoever becomes the AD make that move.
Yeah.
How does this play out?
You want that guy to go into that office on the first day and start firing people. I don't
know if it's a question of firing him. What happens if they've heard from Mario? What happens if they've heard from Lane? He goes, now these guys are viable options. Do I want to keep Manny because I just got here?
Let's assume they're viable options.
Yeah, let's assume
I can tell you they are viable options. So let's assume that.
Yeah.
No, but I want Gary to answer because he said he's not too sure if Lane is a fit. Before we answer this, why did you say that? Because is social stuff and social image and things like that?
it might be too much. I mean, they need somebody to come in here, roll up their sleeves, put their head down, and rebuild this program within 2 years and get this place back to where it belongs. They don't need a guy that's going to be entertaining people on social media.
I'm not saying he does that, but he's done a pretty damn good job
He's
this
going to be
year.
on talk shows and things like that. He's a great offensive coach. If they get there, I certainly wouldn't have a problem with it. I see two candidates to move the needle at Miami right now: Mario and Lane.
Right.
Lamar, you agree with that? Is there anybody else that moves the needle?
I'm not going to comment on it because there's a guy that's still in coaching. So that's why I got to always take that line because I'm a coach.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I don't see any other guy out there that moves the needle. Some of the former players, I'm told, like Mark Stoops, because he coached here, they know him. But I don't. Yeah.
I'll comment on that one. Mm-mm.
Yeah, like he doesn't move the needle.
Stay your ass in Kentucky where you got it nice and easy and cozy. Where if you win 7 games, you get another year extension and $250,000 bonus. He ain't come. Hey, that money in Kentucky goes a long way. It ain't going a long way down here in South Florida. Let me tell you that. Stay your ass up there, Mark, and enjoy it. Kudos to you, my brother.
But yeah, so Bruce, I don't see any other guys that move the needle. So this is going to be really, really, really interesting.
But you don't know if Mario wants it, but you seem to know, or we all seem to know, that Lane does. So
I feel very strongly that if they go after Mario, that they would have a chance to get Mario.
I agree with that.
I feel very strongly on that.
Right.
And I've been expecting that for weeks. Like when we went into this whole thing, I mean, the people on CaneSport.com will tell you, like, I've been like Mario or bust. Like, I've felt like Miami was going after Mario. I know the fans want Mario. The poll that I just mentioned references that and shows that, by a resounding margin. I just don't know how this is going to play out. So here's my next question, Lamar. I'm throwing loaded questions out here, but this is what people want to hear. Can there be a preferred athletic director candidate in the search that will execute what the people seem to really want? Like, can that be a precursor to getting the AD job, that what the fans want, and you too want the same thing as the fans, and you are going to make a Mario Cristobal hire happen?
Well, I can tell you this, Gary. I've never been in any of those meetings, and we don't know what these people are thinking. We don't know what they're telling whoever the candidates are. I mean, that's just we're throwing all these thoughts out there, but we're going on speculation, our own opinion. So we don't know what's going on. We don't know if that's what they're telling the AD candidate or candidates per se. So I mean, that's why I give you kudos for throwing your neck out there on a lot of these questions, because you have getting your ass run over by buses,
trains,
planes, automobiles, and everything else.
Even Godzilla came in there and stepped on.
Yeah, bro.
Dude, last night, I finished CaneSport Live and I go on our message boards. I mean, last night it was David Epstein.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, so David Epstein is just getting killed because one of the producers for the Dan Le Batard show did a podcast or something. And
what was his name? Mike Ryan?
Mike Ryan, yeah.
The guy had to ask somebody, who the hell is that? Yeah.
Well, you not only asked who's Mike Ryan, you asked who's David Epstein.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a ball player and a coach. That's all I know.
So he's getting killed, Lamar. I mean, and Mike Ryan, it was because Mike Ryan said that David Epstein wants Manny to come back. And I don't know what the source of this was or anything. I mean, I'm watching people like saying scary stuff, and I'm like, guys, like, you cannot do this on this message board.
I think the problem, Gary, was that when Blake got fired, the next logical step that everybody that was hoping for that to happen would be either Manny gets fired or he definitely gets fired once the season's over. Now we're hearing that may or may not be true, and everybody's just in panic mode and they're pissed off, and you're the scapegoat for it.
I think anything can happen. I really do. I don't know who's going to win. I suspect who's going to win, but I don't know who's going to win. And this is going to be brutal to cover for the next week and a half or so. Because
I don't care who wins. I just hope the fans don't lose because we're sick of it.
Well, the only way the fans win, Bruce, is change.
Right. And I would think that Juric or Radakovich are two of the leaders. Those are not the type of guys that are going to sit there and listen to this bullshit about you're going to have to keep Manny here if we give you the job, because I don't. Those guys would not.
I don't believe they'll tell them that. Whoever's hired is not going to be told what they have to do.
Okay, I hope not.
They will be educated on the environment, I think. Right, Lamar? Like, they're not going to come in blind.
You have to be educated on this environment because this is different.
I think these guys know the environment.
This is not
all over the national news.
No, you don't.
This is not Clemson where it's the only show in town. You got to find the stadium by following paw prints. It's not Louisville where, only show in town, and you've made every program in the building successful, but you got the Kentucky Derby right, like in walking distance, where it's a lot of money. This is a whole different animal, man. This is there's a lot of sliding politics that goes in the game here, and that's the best way I'm gonna put it, and I'm gonna leave it alone.
My man Dennis Lopez. I mean, this is classic. First mistake message boards.
yeah. Anyhow, go on them bitches.
I love them. I love the message boards. I just can't stand it when people are putting each other down. It becomes personal. I really hate that.
Oh my God!
And your board's loaded with that.
Yeah, it gets crazy sometimes. But you know what? At the end of the day, all everybody wants is the same thing.
Yeah, to win.
They want to see Miami back to be in Miami again. It's that simple.
Yep.
And now the president's office is tasked with charting that course, and it's going to be interesting to see how they handle this. I do think that they are going to take it over and get rid of the whole political thing and have the trustees debating with each other and all that. I think they're going to remove that from the equation. They're going to bring a sense of organization to this, and we'll see who gets the job. I'm not convinced that they're. We'll see. We'll see. There's no point, I guess, in commenting on it right now. We'll see who gets the job and what they do. I think it's going to happen fast. I think all these scenarios are going to be discussed in the interview process. I think things are going to happen fast. We're going to sit here. I'm thinking probably December 4th or 5th. I don't anticipate it happening as soon as this weekend, but it could. But, we're going to find out, I think, pretty quickly, are they going to keep Manny? And if they're not going to keep Manny, who the football coach is going to be. So that would be my read on that.
That works.
All right, Lamar, before we go to our word associations and end the show, do you have anything more to add about the crowded event of last week and what you took away from that?
Well, first of all, as a lot of these fans that are sending their comments, it wasn't a Manny bashing deal. I think for a lot of us, we just wanted to know how we could help, how we could figure this out, where we can get in the building and be a part of turning this thing around, because we just feel like with all these great players, I'm not saying I was a great player, but there's a lot of great players that are part of this program that can help in whether it's in recruiting. I mean, when I was at Kentucky, they had these guys come in and speak. I mean, these guys I never heard of and I didn't even give a damn about, but I just sat there like, yeah.
Like Tim Couch, he was a big superstar in the NFL.
I liked him. But there was, these some guys that just came in the building. I'm like, who the hell are these guys? We got real recognizable names that could come in and speak to your team. And, even like, per se,
I sent a message to the University of Miami, a guy in one of their offices, and I told you this, Gary. I said, hey, man, I did an appearance for the Dolphins, okay? And me and Terry Kirk, we came and we signed autographs. And the fans loved it, man. Why can't we do that at the University of Miami? You have, for season ticket holders, you give people incentives to be season ticket holders. You got 2, 3, you're not going to get the Warren Sapps, the Gino Torrettas, these guys, these high profile guys, maybe not Ray Lewis, but you'll get them in some way because those guys are going to come around because we're signing, their friends are signing autographs, their teammates are signing autographs. They're going to come. That's what we always do. We're going to show support for our guys. And you know what they said to me? We'll check on it.
We'll check on it.
And I even told them, I even said to them, hey, man, the guys, I said, you can take all the credit. I'm just throwing this out there because I think it's great for the season ticket holder. It gives people incentives to get season tickets. So, you know what? Every week, every home game, I get autograph from 2 guys that played at the University of Miami. Like maybe you give the guys $100, $200, I don't know, whatever. And they say, well, how will we pay the guys? I go, freaking sponsors. You know what I mean? If people would want to give money to sponsor and have their name up the Crowder app, right? Look at the Crowder. Look at the Crowder. Crowder right there. But for $200 a piece, I mean, I don't know, man. It just really.
Hey, Gary and I had our own autograph session when we were back at Miami Prime Grill. We had this whole big event, and we had a stage and everything. And Andre Johnson, and they were all there. It's like, and the fans came out, but the school had nothing to do with it. Absolutely nothing to do with it. It was our creation. They came out there,
and I'm just very confused by that because I'm like, dude, you got some of the greatest players to ever play the game, and it's a lot of them that, get them involved in some way. Other schools are doing it. I mean, I'm at freaking Kentucky, man. They're bringing all these guys back just to speak to the team, the beer in the pregame speech. Or, why can't we do that? I don't understand that. I just don't understand that. And I'm not saying it's the coaching staff per se. It's the front office, I think.
It's the building. The building is causing the problems. Hey, listen, before we go, because you guys are going to do your session. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to both of you guys. I got to be thankful. I'm doing this. I love this show. I've been doing shows with Gary for like 30-something years, and I miss doing it. Lamar, I kid you, and I tease you, and I try to torment you. But we've been friends for a lot of years. I've known you too. So I'm thrilled to be doing this with you guys. I love you guys both. Stay safe. Have a happy holiday tomorrow. And it's all about the you, baby. And I'm also, my granddaughter was here today, but she was sleeping. And in April, my daughter is going to have a baby. So this has been a very blessed year for us. I'm just happy.
That's awesome, bro.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's amazing. And I'm still friendly with Mark Caesar, believe it or not.
All right, Bruce.
And I knew he caused that fight. I knew he told me.
Yeah, he did.
Happy Thanksgiving to you as well, man.
Thanks. Be well, you guys.
Hey, make sure Debbie doesn't burn the turkey, okay?
She's going away this weekend. She's singing. Goodbye.
Oh.
All right.
All right.
All right, Lamar.
All right, buddy.
Let's take this home. I'm going to begin with the name that I just mentioned a few minutes ago. Tom Jurich.
Well, I can say this about him, and I'm not trying to pick anybody to be that guy, but since you said the name, I mean, I just know when I coached at Louisville, the guy was a winner, man. Every program, he wanted to win. He wanted to win, and it meant a lot to him to treat the coaches, their families, and everybody else important because they knew how much time we were putting into it. And we talked about this before we went on air. I could tell you this, like the guys like Gino and the guys like Alonzo, they have a lot of knowledge about being in that building, and that's very important. That's the thing that Tom doesn't have about this program.
Yeah.
He's a great candidate, and so are those guys. It's gonna be interesting to see who gets an interview. I think that's the most important thing because I don't know if they've interviewed anybody yet, but we're on the outside looking in. We're
Yeah.
on the outside looking in. There's no telling what backdoor meetings are going on, Gary.
Yeah, I think there have been a couple like preferred candidate interviews, but I don't know that the search firm has done its thing yet. I would think that'll happen next week. The thing about Jurich that I wonder about, like, and you talked about how intense he was about every team winning. He was at Louisville for 20 years, something like that. Long time, right? So I think when you're at a place like that for a long time, like he was, that natural intensity towards the competition develops. I'm sure like year one at Louisville, he wasn't as passionate about Louisville teams winning as he was in year 10, 15, 20. Now, does a guy like that, he's 63 years old. Now he's going to walk into the U. Does he bring the same passion that he had after 20 years at Louisville into year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then retires? Does he bring that to Miami, you think?
He probably does. I can tell you this great story about that guy. So I have been talking to Stoops for about a couple of days about the job at Kentucky. And Tom Judge, we were at a bowl game. We were playing Texas A&M, and he was giving the bowl gifts to the wives and the families and all that other stuff. And he just so happened came by my table, and for some reason we were talking about Kentucky. I asked him, I said, are you going to the basketball game, Louisville versus Kentucky? And it was in Kentucky. And he goes, and granted, me and my wife, we had just got off the phone with Stoops before we walked in that function. He goes, I fucking hate Kentucky. I will never go in that fucking building. And I said, and I looked at her and I said, oh my God. I mean, that passion, like, so I can imagine a guy like that hating Florida State. But I can imagine a Gino Torretta hating Florida State and Alonzo Highsmith hating these teams to the utmost. That hey, we're going to do whatever we can to go in there and kick their ass, and that's coming from the AD, not the coaches. This is the AD talking, and what that does for kids, you're sitting there going, "Holy shit!" Sam Jankovic had that fire.
Yes, I remember Sam used to rip his jacket off and throw it on the ground.
And you, as a kid, you're like, "Holy shit!"
I remember that.
That's the AD. That's the AD.
Yeah.
Jesus. So I mean, it's these are three candidates, man. That they're going to have that fire. Obviously they don't have the experience that Tom has, but they do have the knowledge of being in the building which Tom doesn't have. So those are three good candidates to me.
Tyler Van Dyke.
TBD, man. Hey, man, you keep balling, bro. I love the fact that on the second play of the game or the first play of the game, they went deep and he connected. And I think that really opened up. It gave him confidence because remember, we've been lacking in the first half of those games, and he's always come out the second half and they put on the show. He's like throwing the ball in the ocean. He can't miss in the second half, but he came out the first half and he had some really good throws, and I think it gave him confidence to spread the ball around. And the sky's the limit for this kid, man. The sky is the limit, and if you're able to win out, have a great productive game against Duke, and win a bowl game, whoever that's against, there shouldn't even be a quarterback battle. The guy, there should be a battle for the second team.
Did you see that he trademarked the name Tyler Van Dimes, and now he has a T-shirt line out?
Oh wow! I got to buy one, but maybe he'll give me one for free.
Tyler Van Dimes, how about that?
Tyler Van Dimes, I like it. I
thought I might have a picture of it, but I must have deleted it. But all right, Will Mallory.
I've been saying it. I feel like a crowd popper. Get the ball to the tight end. This guy's a player. In the beginning of the season, things were going on. He had some drops. And you know what? I just said to myself as a young quarterback, one thing I know about young quarterbacks, inexperienced quarterbacks, the tight end is their best friend, right? The tight end, it's an easier throw. It's not throwing it too far out. It's right across the middle. You can actually see. You get lanes. And if this guy does what I expected him to do, the sky's gonna be the limit. He's really showed up now. I think you know he just looks he looks like the guy we thought before he said he was coming back. And I'm so glad that he said he's coming back. And I know probably Coach Stephen Field is happy too because I mean you get a weapon like that coming back. He's really showing now what we thought. I actually thought he was going to have such a great year that we were going to lose him. So I was looking at the backup. But he started off slow. He says he's coming back. Hopefully he sticks to that. And, again, that guy, Coach Stephen Fields, I know he's very excited about the opportunity of coaching him another year.
Charleston Rambo.
The Rambo man. Man, jeez. What an unbelievable year this kid has had. And it could have been even been greater. I mean, he's had those games where there were a drop or two, maybe a fumble if I remember right. But, man, he has put it together. And, for me, what I go back to, the fact he said, yeah, this is my last year. This is it. Ever since then, I'm looking at the kid going, oh, yeah, probably it's your last year.
Yeah.
When he said that at first, I was like, what? But, hey, he's put all those chips, just like our guest early in the show, put the chips all in and said, screw it.
Yeah.
Dan Sileo put the chips all in and said, screw it. Let's go for what I know. And man, this is it's just like that story. I mean, he bet on himself. And a lot of kids are afraid to bet on themselves, but I think he said, I'm with that. Let's go.
And if anybody missed our first hour, you can go back and watch the video podcast.
Must see TV.
Must see TV. Dan Sileo on this show tonight, and I'll even clip it and put it out on back on YouTube and Twitter and all that. It was unbelievable. He's so awesome, and we're gonna have him on again, Lamar, I'm sure. Mike Harley.
Well, first of all, I got to go on his show first before we have him back on. I guess we gotta get our show some national love. So I'm gonna put it up. But the man Mike Harley, man, again, this kid came to me and Michael Irvin and told us he was gonna break the records, and it is what it is. Those records are meant to be broken. I'm happy that he's gotten to that point where he's able to break those records. And I talked early in the show about Michael Irvin doing it in 3, I did it in 4, he's doing it in 5. It doesn't matter. No one's going to know that at the end of the day when they see that record list. Because some kid, hopefully, like myself, is going to come in and go, who's the leading receiver in school history? That's the guy I need to go after. Because he becomes the shooting star for all of us. Congratulations, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, what an awesome kid. I just get such a kick out of him telling you he's going to break records and actually doing it. David Cutcliffe.
Well, old Cutcliffe, he got that great contract over at Duke. All he has to do is make sure the graduation rate stays at 98.9%. I'm just throwing it out there. I can only imagine. He's always been handcuffed by that graduation rate. I mean, Duke's a great school, but he's been able to somehow circumvent that and get good players in there. Obviously, this year has been a down year for him. He's still a really, really great coach, and he's always had some really great coaches on the staff that's going on to coach elsewhere. But this is not a good year for him. This has not been a good year. But I'm sure he'll get it together, and they're not even thinking about it.
Last year wasn't great either.
Yeah, they're not even thinking. If they are, then I mean, who's gonna come in there? I mean, this is like the guy that coached at Vanderbilt a couple of years ago, who did a great job. What's his name? I can't think of his name, but he did a great job at Vanderbilt.
Franklin went from Vanderbilt to Penn
no,
State.
not after Franklin.
Oh,
little short guy. Great coach, man. Great. I love talking to him pregame. I can't think of his name. But you're handcuffed, man, because these kids are here to get great education.
Mm-hmm. You know, I always wondered. I always wondered, Lamar. You know, Duke, one of the greatest academic institutions in the country. I always wondered, like, if you're a smart kid and you play football, why wouldn't you go to Duke? Like, I always thought, like they should be turning that into an advantage, because there have to be 25 really smart football players out there in America every year that you can get to go to Duke, I would think.
Yeah, but it has to be a happy medium. They can't bring all them guys in. They can't bring in all 4.9 students. They got to bring in a 2.9 every now and then.
All right. it's sneaking through admissions, right?
He had to have a high SAT with somebody helped him out of something.
All right, Manny Diaz.
Oh, Manny. Great game for you to win. You got to win this going away. You got to win this going away, man. You got to continue that momentum that you have. You got those kids playing extremely well. The inside, the outside noise those kids are blocking out. They had an opportunity the whole year to get infiltrated with everything that's going on outside that building. I mean, you got us giving our opinions. You got everybody in South Florida giving their own opinions, except for QAM, by the way. But you got everybody giving negative, positive. You got all kind of things going on, but you've been able to somehow flip the script with these kids. You got to continue that same momentum. This will take you into the bowl game, where hopefully we're able to get a bowl game win. And, at that point, you got to build for next year. I know a lot of fans going to criticize me for saying that, but if he's able to redo, which he should, and whoever the bowl game is, I don't see you firing him. I just don't. That's just my opinion, and I could be wrong, but I don't see them firing him, whoever the AD is, firing him, because I don't know if he deserves to be fired after what he's done. So we'll wait on the comments, and I'll probably have a lot of. I'm gonna take my Twitter profile down.
Oh my
I'll
goodness!
Have some hate mail.
They're gonna light it up.
Yeah, they're gonna light me up, dog. Hey, but I'm gonna be driving to Gainesville. I'm gonna drive to Gainesville, and I'm gonna be up there in Gainesville, and Seminole Country, and if you don't like me, I'll just join one of those.
You might just stay. You'll just stay.
Yeah, I might just stay.
You'll just stay in Canesville, right?
Yeah, man. I might just stay, man. It is what it is. The bottom line is the program. I'm a Hurricane. I'm a cheer for my team. He's the coach. I'm a cheer for him. I'm a cheer for my program. I want these 2 wins. I like the feeling of being able to. I don't like the feeling of losing Florida State, but I like the feeling of. And by the way, at Derrick Brooks golf tournament, I saw Derrick Brooks, William Floyd, who was my roommate, Warwick Dunn, and even Warwick Dunn, who's the nicest guy in the world, said, "Hey, what about a couple weeks ago? What about?"
Yeah, that's got to be brutal. That's got to be so brutal.
Here's what I said to all those guys who comment. Dexter Jackson, the MVP of the Super Bowl. I said, y'all didn't even expect to win. That's why you didn't even talk shit. And all of them admitted, yeah, you're right. They didn't expect to win that game, but it is what it is. So, Manny, go out, beat a Duke team that's not good. Enjoy the Thanksgiving. Before that, take them boys out there, win this game, and let's get ready. Let's see how this thing. Take that into recruiting, build some momentum, win this bowl game, and let's see what you have to offer.
All right, Lamar, awesome show. Before we go, let's first thank our guests, Jesse Armstead, Dan Sileo. Let's thank our sponsors, All Canes. The Black Friday special is on. You can get 20% off. We'll mention credit. You get 20% off at All Canes. We'll mention credit. All through till Monday, till Cyber Monday. You can get that at allcanes.com or go in the store through Monday. We'll thank Bo Camper Sports Bar and Grill and Plantation for feeding Lamar the great calamari and chicken wings. And Advanced Financial and Insurance, Ryan Collins' company, If you have insurance needs, give Ryan Collins a call.
All of
Yeah, he does it all, man. And it's always great to be helped by a former Hurricane. And Ryan will take good care of you if you give him a buzz. The number's about to be on the bottom of the screen for Advanced Insurance Financial. 954
436 4027. 954 436 4027.
All right, LT. Have a great time up in Gainesville. Tell your mom we said hello. That the Canes Nation wishes her a happy Thanksgiving. And to all of you that have watched tonight, happy Thanksgiving to you guys as well. We'll be back next Wednesday night. We'll see what's going on, man. I'm sure there'll be something to talk about. But until then, happy Thanksgiving and goodbye, everybody.